Has Palestine ever existed?
It's genuinely but it is possible.
Tea lady, number one in the room. 1 second, just setting up people. Just setting up here.
Because their money is a business, it basically generates interest, which they then, their account basically pays their money to live on. Which is a perfect example. You know how much money it needs. I don't know how much money it needs. It's a lot of money it needs.
Well, there's a phrase from Bertolt Brecht in one of his plays. He says,
Big up. Ads touch, big up ads touch. Always, you done know already. Love. Big up everyone in the chat. Issa's here as well somewhere. Gonna talk to him.
You're saying you're plagiarizing.
You good? Welcome back, yeah? Good to see you, bro. When are you ready for part 2 of Motors here, bro?
I'll come back in a minute.
Yeah?
I'm just going to have a mooch around.
Yeah.
Raven, innit?
Raven, that's right.
Yeah, big up Raven.
Yeah.
Yeah, come and have a chat in a minute.
Yeah, you're always welcome, bro. We'll get this camera and we'll make it official if you want to take it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Sweet. I'll see you later in a minute. Love. Oh, somebody wants a discussion already. Have a mooch around and I'll go and have a chat with him. Raven.
Radio one day.
Big up.
Sorry about
Big up my brother.
Yeah.
Bless.
And I didn't want to go under my actual name, so it was my radio name and I did volunteering. Yeah?
Bruv, talk to the brother here.
You know what I'm
Black
saying?
van man.
No, I don't want to go on
Okay.
camera or be on.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Serious.
This is her going down here, right? Is the person who I was with earlier on, right? Said we were together. Yeah?
Okay.
That's her. That's what she wants to do. She's got her
What's
own
it-
agenda.
She wants to go on camera?
No, but
Okay.
that's her. That's her own agenda. That's her own business to tell you what.
I'd love
thing
to
is.
bring Respect
me.
to
I'm
a
just
demo.
I'm just
Respect?
a.
No, leave
I'm
that
just
clown,
a.
bro.
As regards Hyde Park, right? I'm just a breezing through.
Okay.
I'm browsing.
Will
You know what
those
I'm saying?
ladies
But
come
I
on
do have
camera?
my own views.
Will those ladies come on camera?
Probably not, Rob. You could ask her privately. You don't have to say.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yo, come here a minute. Get him to come over here, man.
So what was
They
what
must
was-
wanna
Eddie
meet-
Hearn said he's on the way.
Which group are you with? Israelites.
No. I'm a so-called Shia, true Islam. That's what I'm saying.
True Islam.
Yeah. So what most people call Islam is Sunniism, which is a
'Cause my
political.
background is culturally Christian.
That's fine. So what I'm saying, you've heard of Sunni and Shia. Supposed to be two
Yeah,
sects.
I've heard that through the
The
news.
majority is Sunni, but it's an ideology using the cover of religion. It's a political ideology of conquest, using religion.
Is that why Iran is said to have so? I don't mean the politics of it, yeah, sanctions and all that, but that's why Iran
exactly.
is said to have so much support in the Middle East.
I don't know if it does, because at the end of the day, most of the Middle East, most of the Middle East is Sunni, and the government's against Iran.
No, you missed the point.
Okay.
The
You
reason
mean
why
by
I'm
people?
saying that was because if it kicks off with Iran, right, Iran will have Iran supports Sunni groups in certain other Arabic, and then
They say Yemen.
and then they say that they're Persian by race or by
Yeah,
ethnic
yeah.
group, how you
Yeah.
define it, yeah.
Okay.
Plus, their religion is like Protestant and Roman Catholic and Christian. They're the two main.
No,
groups.
that's what I'm saying to you, Rob. Listen, I used to be a Sunni. I'm thoroughly researching this dumb, idiotic religion, right?
You kill it, dumb idiotic.
What Sunniism? Yes, dumb, bruv. Listen, Sunniism was made up after the Prophet. The Prophet appointed Ali. Now let's say that's Islamic politics. What is the reality that I'm trying to draw your attention to is that the Sunnis follow first Abu Bakr, who they say is the best after the Prophet. When you read the story of Abu Bakr, he was a person that stole
And so
the
it's free
property
speech. Just going to let
from
him
the
talk.
Prophet's daughter. So when you follow somebody that backstabbed and betrayed the Prophet, what does that make you? If you call him the best, imagine a neo-Nazi today saying Hitler's the best of mankind, but then when a terrorist attack happens by a neo-Nazi, he says, no, I disagree with it. Do you understand the contradiction?
Yeah.
So the Sunni out of one side of his mouth, oh, terrorism's wrong, we free ourselves from them. But then out the other side, Abu Bakr's the best after the Prophet. But Abu Bakr went around killing people, Muslims, Sahaba, companions, who didn't want him to be the caliph, who wouldn't give him their charity money. In Islam, you're not allowed to kill people because they don't want to give you charity money. I can give it to who I want. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So there's a behavior of conquest already straight after the Prophet died. Abu Bakr pushed out the family, robbed the family, and got a whole bunch of bleeding whatever else, betrayers of the Prophet. And that's where Sunnism evolved from.
So let me see if I'm hearing you right.
Okay,
right.
yeah.
What you're saying is in the earliest days of Islam, maybe the first decade or so, right? Even the first 1 or 2 generations.
Right.
It was like after a bad start, right? In terms of it was like psychically cursed or.
Well, they betrayed the Prophet.
No. That religion, generally, loosely speaking, like I'm talking you as an outsider. That religion had a bad start in the first place. That's basically what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that you had true Islam, but it was suppressed. It was kept with the family of the Prophet. And the central idea is justice for all. That's the central idea.
Someone came along and you said...
Abu Bakr now took the label Islam, made up hadith, lied about so many things, and then just created an ideology of Arab superiority. And then they rolled with it.
Those are not, as you probably would have heard, because I'm based on the black consciousness, right? Despite my complexion or whatever, right? From a factual point of view, the Jews now in Israel, and the Arabs now in the Middle East and Arab North Africa, right? They are not the original people.
That's fine. Even though the Arabs were black in the beginning, that's fine.
And the original Jews as well.
That's fine.
Would you give me that?
No, let's stick to the Sunni versus Islam. What I'm saying to you is, the problem we have right now, that I'm talking about, is that you have loads of blacks joining a cult that has enslaved black people for 1,200 years. Sunniism, continuously. But they want to talk about the slavery for 400 years of white people. I'm saying, talk about that, but don't forget these lot here. And don't join their stupid cult. Imagine Afro-Caribbeans fighting for ISIS. And then ISIS go to Libya and set up a black slave market.
Do you know what I said?
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. So do you know what I said to the black guy who said he was conscious, right? I had to put him in his place.
He can't be a Sunni and conscious for sure.
No, he wasn't Muslim, right? He was actually from a Christian background. He actually, to be honest with you, right, he privately, right, and when we used to chat together, right, he wasn't keen on Islam, right? But leaving that,
I might say the same.
No, he wasn't. No, but
that's the lady I was going to call.
No, but that was his point of view, right? I just tried to be reasonable, right?
Okay.
With him, right? What I was saying to him was, if you're gonna go back, right, for 400 years, right, then you have to look at, right, is that how come in complexion now, in the middle, what is now called the Arab North Africa and the Middle East, right? People like Yasser Arafat, they're pink skin.
Bro, let me show you how.
No.
Let me deal with that, brother. Let me deal with that so I can get back to the main thing, because you got the black Arabs, yes. They conquered. So under Muawiyah, they conquered Spain and all of these other places, right?
Yeah.
Then they started to import loads of Slavic females. That's the Umayyad era. By the time you got to the Abbasids, they were very light-skinned. And they were taunted for not being proper Arabs, i.e. dark skin. So this is when they changed it and now tried to make dark skin look inferior. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's when they started getting the Zanj from Tanzania and others and making a whole massive slave trade. Do you understand?
Okay.
They converted groups over here and then got those black Sunnis to steal black people and enslave them. Look up the Zanj Rebellion. The Zanj Rebellion is the biggest black slave trade in history. They want to tell you about Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman and all of this. What about that? Do you understand what I'm saying? You've got my point to you is, if you saw masses, is his voice interrupting mine? I hope it's not. Okay. If you saw masses of black people convert into neo-Nazi groups or the KKK, would you not think there's a problem with them?
I'll tell you something, I definitely would, but hold on. This is like saying, right, and people have said this to me down for years. people always to surround. You know that you're Jewish, right? Your mother's got to be Jewish. And your father's
This
got to be
guy.
Jewish. Oh no! I'm coming round to something.
Okay.
Black people become neo-Nazi. Did you know what he said about that? Adolf Hitler was genetically Jewish.
Brother, that's fine, but what? Listen, what I'm saying.
No,
Listen,
but
what I'm
people, the
saying.
history is not.
Brother,
That's
I know,
true, I
know.
remember they chopped the
Brother,
genitals off.
brother, listen, that's fine. But I'm saying, if I put a subject, please try and respond to that. I'm not.
I
being
apologize,
disrespectful.
I apologize
That's
for
fine.
going slightly
So what I'm
off
saying
track.
to you is, when black people join the Sunni ideology, not
Yeah.
Islam, Sunniism,
Sunnis.
it's exactly the same as if they joined the KKK, which covers itself with Christianity, or neo-Nazi, which is more blatant. Do you understand? Because the ideology of Sunniism is to either make you a slave if you're black, or make you a slave catcher. Either way, you're supposed to be their agents. How can I? Remember Jermaine Lindsay that blew himself up on the train or whatever?
I think so. Light-skinned guy, yeah.
Well, remember the guy? It was a bomb here, bro.
Yeah.
Right? 7/7 or whatever it was. So I'm saying Afro-Caribbean converts to Sunniism, and then he bombs a place in England. Innocent people. Does that not sound weird to you?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm saying there's clearly something wrong with the ideology. Not just that you've got this Zachariah over here. He converts. He was a Seventh-day Adventist or something, then he became a Sunni, then he went back to Seventh-day Adventist, then he became a Sunni again, and then he starts calling black people the N-word, an Aswad. Sunniism is a bloody virus in their brains, bro. You get me?
Yeah.
It's a dangerous cult. And all I'm asking people to do is distinguish between Sunniism and Islam. Don't argue with them over the Quran, because they can cover what they're saying with the Quran. But if you go to Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Aisha, chapter 66 of the Quran lets you know that Aisha is an enemy of Allah and the Prophet. Do you understand my point?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the main thing people need to understand. You get me?
I'd have to research.
Don't worry, we're going to start breaking it down, brother. Don't worry.
No,
Hopefully, Black Man, man.
As soon as we hear something we don't
That's
like,
like Noah's Ark Genesis.
Right.
I was brought up in that culture.
Well, me
Even
too.
though I've not been in
I was raised a Christian. I converted to Sunniism. I studied more and left the garbage. You get me? So, because I'm saying, you can have more productive black people. I hope you're not interrupting my voice. Please, thank you very much.
I'm not. Can I point you something that might bear fruit for you?
Yeah.
Holy Tabernacle Ministries. I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
did buy or read it.
Okay.
There's 360 degrees questions. Right?
360 questions that are for Orthodox Sunni Muslims, that are for Orthodox Jew,
Christian,
and Orthodox
and
Christians. I know about them, bro. I know,
Have you read them?
I know. I've gone through the Sunni one, but I'm saying they're sort of outdated. They're like, how many? 15, 30 years old. Do you know what I mean? But I'm saying, to me, we have an issue and a problem.
To be honest with you,
Yeah, and I like to deal with that problem.
The group that I would probably join if I had to join a way of life
be that?
probably would be that.
Well, don't worry. When I start teaching you
No,
proper Islam,
no, because I don't feel
I
like
understand, bro.
there must have been, okay, in very, very simple terms before I leave you, yeah? There must have been,
I can refute the hell out of Dr. York. I was looking into that. I went to America to try and find out more about Dr. York, okay, in the 90s. Yeah? And if any Nawabian, you bring them, I'll refute the hell out of them. So it's not a thing, it's easy to do. You get what I'm saying?
No, I'm prepared to look
Peace
at
and
the
love.
alternative. Anyway, the point is, I think there's got to be more.
I've got a debate coming with a brain named Shakara.
No.
Today.
I prefer just to stay in the background and just listen.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I want you to watch if you're going to be here. Big up.
Well, what time is your debate?
Well, it's supposed to be 5 o'clock. So if Shakara's out there, brother, please turn up.
So
So that
that
you,
message in the group, so you're going to be
yeah, he's on his way.
No, because briefly, but I think the life must have come off plan.
That's fine. We can go into that another time.
You have to say,
You know, it'd be good to go into that, but because I come here specifically to rinse off some garbage of
no,
people.
because now a lot of serious people are saying, right?
I know, brother, I hear you. I hear you. What I'm saying, that there is a lot of evidence,
Yeah.
and I could tell you, I also subscribe to that. But and the Quran teaches that. But I'm saying I don't want to confuse the two. When your objective is something that Sunniism is garbage, you have to deal with that. It's a major problem. You get me? And when you've got black people trying to defend an anti-black neo-Nazi religion like Sunniism, then there's something wrong in the black community. You know what I mean?
That's what they're doing, right?
Well, tell me what black Sunnis have done for the black community or any community.
I don't know that
Nothing.
much about Sunnism.
Brother, listen, what you call Muslims, yeah? Tell me what, since they've came and converted in their masses, what have they done for England or the community? Brother, listen to the question I'm asking you from an objective outside perspective. Since they've converted, what have they done for the black community?
I don't remember Sunnis having any impact. on
Thank
the
you.
community.
Well done. So if you've got a revelation from God,
Not even verbalizing anything. Even if they don't
well,
go
they're out
through
there with their garments and their leaflets and stuff.
it. Nation of Islam, yes. Even though I might
There you go, bro.
agree or disagree with them.
With their principles.
The Nubians, yes. Even though I might disagree.
Brother,
or
listen
agree
to the
with
point I'm
them.
making. You don't find a Nation of Islam members seeking to blow up innocent people, do you?
No.
Thank you. But you find Sunnis doing that, don't
I've
you?
never heard of that. ever.
Exactly. But the Sunnis will diss the Nation of Islam. Do you see my point?
Yeah.
I'm saying you believe in that tree being your God. Are you a peaceful person? That's the point. You believe what the hell you want. But are you a person that's not a savage? Do you get me?
Yeah.
Sunniism makes you a savage. It makes you a sly, sneaky savage. You see them around here. Ali Dug and the rest of these people, they're sneaky devils. Don't trust none of them. They've all got an objective of conquest. They do it in a sneaky ways, bro. Don't trust any of them. But the simplest way to expose these people as terrorists, ask them what their beliefs about Abu Bakr and Umar are. Do they believe Abu Bakr and Umar to be the best people after the Prophet? Once they say yes, ask them about Abu Bakr stealing the Prophet's daughter's property. Ask them about Abu Bakr killing people for their property.
Yeah, hold on. Is that in the regular Quran or has it
No,
been
that's in the
taken out?
Hadith. This is the Sunni Hadith.
Hold on. What's the difference between the Hadith and the Quran? 'Cause I've
The Quran is the revelation from Allah. Direct revelation. That's
What,
it.
through the Archangel Gabriel?
That's
Muhammad?
correct. That's
that much
correct.
I know, yeah?
The Hadith is what the Prophet said. The Prophet did, let's say he prayed a certain way.
His actions and his speeches.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what he's trying to say.
So the revelation, the Quran is a recitation,
Yeah.
which people memorized. The Hadith, they sort of memorized it through the fact that they were practicing it or the Prophet said. Do you see the difference?
So Abu Bakr, whatever this guy's called,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
He stole the Prophet's daughter and his property. Is that
The
correct?
property.
Yeah?
He stole her
I've
property.
got
Yeah.
that right, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that in the regular Quran?
No, that's in the Hadith. But
That's
it's
in the
agreed upon.
Hadith.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
is
in their
that-
Sunni Hadith. I will not quote anything for you
Right.
from Shia Hadith.
When you consider Muslim or not, right? Does
Yes.
any Muslim sect have the? Because I've been told that Muslims get very annoyed when you say that the Quran has been mistranslated or is not the original.
Well, there's a lot of mistranslations.
Right. Is the original Quran still in existence, so they simply have the old?
Most definitely, I would
Has it
say
been
the original Arabic
Yeah.
is still in place, but the Sunnis have tried to tamper with the vowels.
From the time of the Prophet.
Well,
from the time
I'm
of
saying,
the guy.
what I'm saying is, you can, if you're a person that speaks Arabic,
No, I'm not.
no, I'm saying if. So anyone, you'll find newspapers on Edgware Road without vowel signs. The newspapers and books, because they normally don't use vowels. The vowels are normally for us. What I'm saying is, what they did was try to misinterpret the Quran by messing with vowels.
I'm listening to the comments. I'm watching
Even
the
me,
comments.
who's not a reader and speaker of Arabic, I've identified or known where they've changed the vowel. So it's easy. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not.
You don't have to be a fluent speaker. or
No,
reader.
that's what I'm saying. Bro, we've got internet today. It's all over for Sunni pagans. The Sunni religion's garbage. It's done. Remember, they used to hide behind the fact that most... Bro, if I write a whole book by hand,
Yeah.
you're not going to look at that book until your hands are perfectly clean and I know you're not going to tear it. Imagine writing a whole book by your hand. So before the
You
printing
have to
press...
make a mistake.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Before printing press,
Yeah.
before internet, only certain people could access these books.
Yeah, I know.
So you used to listen to the village imam, the village scholar.
Yeah.
Now I can access all the information that the village scholar used to say. And I can say you're a liar because you didn't tell me about that hadith. You didn't tell me about that Quranic ayah. Do you understand the difference between now and then? So Sunnis have been relying on this imam said, this scholar said, all these donkeys were saying rubbish.
Yeah.
Now we can just go into the hadith and into the Quran and show that you lot never told us half of this stuff. You're a bunch of lies, you're fraud, you're fakes, you're devils. Simple as that. The Sunni religion is garbage, bottom line.
And you can
Impossible.
shame them up factually.
Bubbling
Bro,
in
listen.
Dublin.
Factually.
There's no Sunni in this park that will debate me on a subject. You know how long I've been saying this stuff? Shamsi, if you know this donkey called Shamsi and Muhammad, they tried to debate me, bro. Annihilate them. Shamsi ran like a bloody giraffe.
On the George Galloway, I saw it. I don't know when or which episode on Sputnik. Yeah? He had some Turkish scholar on. He said, right, that he's been banned in Turkey. I can't
Right.
remember what it was called, right? That means he's out there on the net. If you go to archives,
Okay.
Sputnik
Yeah.
archives, he's been banned in Turkey, right? Because he said the Quran. I haven't got this right as a layperson.
Okay.
I'm going by memory. The Quran has been mistranslated.
Yeah.
Or they've messed around with it.
They have
right?
done, yeah.
And because of that reason, right, he's tried to be factual. Yeah.
Well, this is my, what I'm
I
trying to
think
do.
he may be, if he's not a Turk, right, not that's relevant, right, but he may be an Armenian or a Kurd. I don't care what he is.
It don't matter.
But the point is, right, he's one of them.
Once you try and
Muslims.
translate the Quran properly, it is over for Sunnis. This is why they keep the scholars being the... If you read a verse in the Quran, they will say you have to go and ask what that scholar says. Allah told you in the Quran that you, individual, must must reflect over the Quran yourself. You must study it. Every individual. The scholar is there to assist you, not dictate what he thinks it means. Do you understand my point?
Yeah.
That's what's been happening till now. Even Sunnis are all over the place. If you see some of the internal debates among Sunnis, bloody retarded. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, we'll deal with this. I'm waiting for this brother Shakara, and inshallah he's going to come and get that work. Yes?
I wish you
it's a beautiful thing. I'm normally just on COE. I don't really want to set up my thing just yet, but we will do it.
One of these days, like I said before, I was just
Big up.
breezing by here.
Yes, brother. No, big up.
Yeah,
that's
it's
good.
It's
I'm
mainly
glad.
her life or whatever.
Okay, no, that's good.
Like
That's
I
good.
said, my thing is the new Wabi thing.
Okay, well,
And
Rav,
that would be.
where's Matthew?
What do you mean?
Right.
Certain things in my
How you
life.
doing?
Yo, bro.
Yes, brother. Him or me?
Later.
Big up, big up, big up.
Can I ask you? Can you not hear me there? Can I ask you a question there quickly?
Yes,
Nice
my brother.
question.
Yes.
Quite basically, I've seen you a couple of times here, and a lot of people accuse you
Yeah.
of separating yourself
Right.
from the Sunni religion,
Okay.
from the Sunni Muslims.
Right.
Do you see them as your brothers, or and do they see you as their brother?
Right, so the majority of Sunnis that are really into, let's say, the Sunni religion, studiers and preachers, would see me as a non-Muslim. But that's the nature of a retarded brain anyway. So the other side of it is, loads of Sunnis come here and give me salam. They hear what I say, but because they cannot refute me, because I'm quoting the Quran and Sunni authentic hadith, Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, right? They can't refute me. So they can only say, well, you know, I won't debate you. I disagree with what you say, some things. But if you can't refute me, how then are you justified to hate me? Do you see what I'm saying? My position to them is, if they're a good person, even if they're a Sunni retard, then I'm cool with them. Simple as that. Do you get me? My whole thing is an ideology, a political imperialist ideology hiding under the label and banner Islam. Especially when it causes Afro-Caribbean and other black people to side with these terrorists against whites and blacks who are fighting against racism. Doesn't make sense.
So, are you saying that the radicalization of young black
blacks,
people in
right.
the community is exclusively to Sunni Muslims?
100%. I mean, I asked somebody to give me any evidence whatsoever of anybody known as Shia, or what I would say true Muslim, leaving and blowing up innocent people. They might go and fight to defend innocent people, but I'm saying, you know, the terrorist attacks, who are they from? Just remember this. Where were these Sunnis condemning Sunni terrorist attacks before they were called and more or less forced to condemn them? Only when they were pushed against and told you this and oh no, we reject that, we condemn it. But you accept Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman, who were the first terrorists of the Sunni religion. That's who they follow. Imam Ali was a defender and holder of truth. Me as an Afro-Caribbean, I was a Christian. You get me? So it's only because I've studied it. I didn't wake up as a Sunni one morning and think Abu Bakr's wicked. I looked into this, somebody mentioned it, I studied, I went back and forth for ages. And all the evidence is there in Sunni books. They can't argue with this. Otherwise, clearly you'd have Sham Donkey, Muhammad Giraffe, Ali Dawah obviously is a clown, he can't debate anyway. You know, you'd have Sunnis come down here debating, they can't do it. Simple as that.
Can I have one suggestion? If you stop name calling them, maybe they might listen a little bit more.
Okay.
Because you come across really well.
Okay.
But when you say like the donkey or the giraffe,
Okay.
I understand it's really entertaining to me.
Okay.
But
Let me
you
see.
might not get the dialogue
Let me explain.
from those people. Go on, tell me
Guaranteed, in conversations, whatever the agreement is, I follow. So if the agreement is I can't say Sunni pagans, I can't say whatever, I just say those Muslims or Sunnis or whatever in the debate. So that is a stupid excuse for them to use. I'm only calling them that because both of them, Muhammad Giraffe and Shamsi the idiot, they both came to debate me. Then as they realized I'm refuting them, they made excuses to leave the debate. If you go and look at Muhammad, the title of the debate with me and Muhammad Hijab is Muslim teaches Shia Arabic. What happened was I quoted a verse, the chapter Kryptonite, Sunni Kryptonite, and he was trying to say, well, you don't know Arabic. When he got to the sentence, we're into Dahara alayhi, which means if you two support each other against the Prophet, he then realized the debate was over because the point of the debate was, is Aisha an enemy of Allah and the Prophet? That chapter demolishes Aisha's position in Sunniism. So he made that he tried to say, is Aisha a Muslim to you? Or is she a Kafir? Is she Muslim? To change the debate. I said, well, let's deal with this first. He's like, no, answer this. But then he said, oh, you don't know Arabic. I'm saying, well, if I debate you on my subject or your subject, I still don't know as much Arabic as you. Do you get me? What difference does it make? So that was his little cop-out to try and, run away. Sham donkey. He made some debate and he changed the verse to something else. Then he got his crowd to cheer and then run off. Like a Chihuahua or Jericho. He's a clown. They're a bunch of idiots, bro. Anytime any Sunni donkey wants to debate east of the black to let, bring it on. Guaranteed annihilation. Before the debate, look in there. Can you see through there? That's the future. On this side of the past is the refutation of all Sunni dumb donkeys and pagans. But don't worry, in the debate, I'll be polite. For the first hour before, during your refutation, and an hour afterwards, I will not call you any names. After that, I'll call you any name under the sun. You're retarded, and that's it. Thank you very much. Peace.
Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me there. I'm sure we're going to be talking when. What's his name coming?
Shakara.
Shakara. We're waiting for Shakara. What's Shakara representing? Do you know?
Pan-Africanism.
Okay, so he's like respecting them guys there.
Kind of. Let's say, yeah, if you want to put a big umbrella.
Yeah, okay.
But I would put a big separation between the two, but yeah.
Okay.
You get me, but yeah, big up, man.
Okay, so you should be around soon. I'm going to take a little mooch around. You're not going anywhere though, are you?
No, East of the Black Tilek is here, bruv.
Okay, so I'm going to come back to you.
Big up my brother.
Big
up for the listeners and watchers of the channel. Support this brother.
Thank you.
You get me? Now, the thing is, I want to correct him on what he said in regards to donation of money. You should appreciate when someone out of their heart wants to give you money. You just don't need to, beg for it like certain people. But I'm saying if they can help you and fund you, if someone wants to give you a gift, my brother, don't throw it in their face.
I've got my own personal, for the record, I've got my own personal reasons why I do not want to accept donations. Please do not send any donations. Love, respect, and all that.
He might need a new camera. Don't worry. Someone else owns the channel. Send your money, whatever. Send it to them, and they'll buy a stand for this camera. His arms are hurting. Right? He's holding the camera. Get him a stand or something. Big up my people.
Thank you very much.
Save the money.
Really
yes, brother. Peace and love, man. Take care.
I'll come back round and speak to you.
Yeah, we'll do that thing.
Bless up.
Big up Mr. Rex.
One for the camera. I want to big up Ads Touch. You've been there from the beginning. You already know. Love, blessings, all that good stuff. Ads Touch. Love.
I speak for the entire right-wing movement when I say we love Black Van Man. We want to talk to him and we give him full protection. And to the black leader of the park, Master IC3, this is a route for libertarian black power to true black power. True black power, not Raspberry, not gang, not Raven, not anti-Shaka.
Everyone coming together.
Not anti-Shaka.
That's right, that's the ultimate.
Gang.
Yeah, everyone coming together.
But coming together is not enough because people can come together and fight each other. So you got to organise something where people can come together and still know where they are and then communicate with each other. But just coming together as a bundle, we've got it here. Look, we're all together here.
Yeah.
Very curious following you. I missed you in the pub down there. Yeah. I saw Raspeg lose his shit. Oi, Raspeg, my little sis. Gang. This boy, touch one, touch all. Touch him, touch me, mate. So we would like to explain why your position is a beautiful position. I would like to support black power, not gang.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Nice work.
What were you guys talking about?
Media.
I wasn't talking about anything. I was just...
Afghan.
I'll be talking to people. So, bro, I see you come down here quite regular. What's your name if you don't? IC3?
Yeah, Mr. IC3.
Mr. IC3.
Yeah, I've been away for a few weeks because I'm planning to improve the system. So I'm going to put more chairs and we're going to have a table as well in the middle, like a round table. Yeah.
I throw an open challenge down now for
open challenge.
Anti-Shaka, gang, Raspberry Cheddar, all of them on Black Van Man's channel, 2 against however many you want, as long as you organize it. Why we are right about black power and gang is wrong about black power. Black power must come from the right. In my case, the Christian right, but even if not. And hey, debate in your channel, live on live. Come on, gang. What time is it? Is Raspberry awake yet?
Everything that needs to be said is
Anti-Shaka, bring them all on and we'll explain black power from the right way.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that, Ralph.
Yeah.
Go on, bro. What are you representing then? 'Cause you come here, you must be really passionate. You got all the outfit on.
Well,
The uniform. Is that the uniform?
I've been here for a number of years before your time, so I'll explain more or less my basic stance.
Can you hold it up for a second? So
Yeah, here you go.
pause it?
Yeah.
Boom.
Right, so these are the British states, above government, state. Because the government can change. It could be Labour Party, Conservative Party, Liberal, change. But the state remains solid. So this is state information. These are the state race codes, the British state race codes.
The genetic codes.
Yeah. So I'm fundamentally here encouraging people to discuss identity politics, because identity covers everything, whether it's religion. You know, how can you tell whether you're a true Christian or a fake Christian? How can you tell if you're a real Muslim or a fake Muslim? You understand? So, yeah. So identity is fundamental. It covers every single subject. So fundamentally, why I don't think you've seen the chairs yet, but why I try and bring chairs, the circle, is because when you start discussing issues about identity, people get very passionate, and they tend to feel that you're making a personal attack. Usually people do make personal attacks as soon as they start talking about identity. But I want to be able to create a space where we can discuss these serious and very emotional subjects and put them in the table in the middle. And so we just discussed it in a certain way without feeling that we're insulting each other, and that we can learn a lot more.
And a second view off during the time, if anyone, gang, Auntie Shaka, all of them, come down to the Identity Circle, to the Master IC3, along with Brother Christian Kane, the only true black leaders in the park, and let's have a talk about black identity.
Yes, we'll arrange that. We'll arrange that.
So what's your stance on how do you identify yourself?
IC3 black.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm here in Britain, and this is how this area that we're standing in. These are the rules. No, I don't think so. No.
Master IC3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So identity politics, and then identity politics moves on to the subject of race, and then ethnicity, and nation, and immigration, and all of it flows from there. Yeah. But but all these subjects are highly charged, and people just get savage.
Yeah.
People start losing it.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about Brexit? I'd like to hear your opinion.
I'm pro-Brexit.
You're pro-Brexit?
Yeah, that's me personally.
Yeah. Why? Could you answer why?
Because I see the EU as moving towards the agenda of the people that believe, or basically the bankers and the traders who believe ultimately that all borders and all identity should be destroyed and dissolved, and with that will go all morals, all values, and the only value they'll have is money. So anything goes. As long as you pay for it, it's morally right. Yeah. So I'm against that. And I believe that to go against that, you've got to produce and conserve national values, racial values, ethnic values, and then work a better way of managing the differences among people, rather than try to wipe out differences. But if you try to wipe out people's identity, or individual identity, or group identity, then that's when you get the worst violence. It comes later.
And if I can add one thing to my good mentor, Master IC3, let's look at the example. I come home from the pub, subscribe to Black Man, like, share. I come back to the pub, I went to Hip's event, I turn on the channel, Raspec's channel have lost it with BMV. Why have they lost it? Identity politics, because he is willing open-mindedly to listen to white identity politics. Immediately he's considered Uncle Tom said our goon, not to that.
That's right.
So the identity politics that stems from you as a black man to find black collective power is being attacked by the left of the aspect going, if you're not with me, you're not one of ours. That's the core of the identity politics issue, and it's the single thing stopping black power in the diaspora today. The single thing that keeps all the data from the 1960s, from black crime, black representation, black wealth, black saving rates, can be traced to this left-wing idea that you define yourself as anti-white, as opposed to defining black power from racial identity, ethnic identity into racial empowerment. And this man is a master of that component.
Yes, that's
hail black power.
Yeah. Yes, because just to back up, Ralph says, if you just to understand identity, you've got to be able to understand other people's identity. Just like if you know your name, you know where you live, you know what your identity is, then you can speak to somebody else who may live somewhere else, who might have different values, but at least you can talk to them because you know what your position is. If you have no position and you're all over the place, you're confusing yourself, and you're confusing. You can't communicate. You can't communicate.
Another little question. He was talking about respect, and a lot of the views that I've come across with black people in this park is that they always refer to transatlantic slavery.
Do you want some home troops on that, bro?
Yeah, I do want some home troops.
Okay.
How do you feel about how the black community or the black community? Do you believe it's to do with transatlantic slavery, or do you believe it's many other things? How do you feel about it?
Well, it all boils down to
or something.
It still boils down to the basic point of identity. You see, because even if you're going to start a war, or even if you're going to fight people, you have to know who your team are or who your soldiers are before you otherwise you're going to get finished.
May I add something? So I'm a computer scientist. I live in data. And I've been on Raspect, Shannon, Philosophy, all of them. Let's get some facts straight, and you won't like this, Raspect and everyone else, but I can bring this data to you time after time. Colonization was the best thing that happened to black people and brown people.
And
Why?
Who's to make that judgment? No, who's to make that judgment?
Let me try to do that.
No, you can't just make a statement like that.
I'm going to try to back it up.
Let him finish and then come.
Allow me to finish. So how do I measure this? If I look at the black income distribution across the world, and I look at the per capita GDP of black people, and I say, who are the best performing blacks? US blacks at $56,000 a year are the ones that were taken there and then freed again, where the rest of Africa is at a downward curve. So when you say colonization is bad, it's not economically bad, it's left with this cultural legacy of what do you do that 4 centuries that a white guy dominated me. But who've had the most slaves? Is it white guys slaving black people? No. The Muslims enslaved more Indians than all the other slaves put together. Do the modern Indians get up and going, hey, Aurangzeb slaved me, the Akis came and took me out, Baba? No, they don't. They have removed their identity from a historical trauma, and up they go with their GDP. Africa and the left are stuck in this idea that your identity is described by a historical other, and the left wing keep perpetuating this again and again. You need reparations, you need something from the past. No, you don't. You need to rise up in black pride, black power, black dignity, and take what is yours. Nothing is owed, nothing will be given. Asia is doing this, India's done it, China's doing it. The only way for black people to rise and escape that is to leave the left. Black identity, black power from itself.
What I'd like to say about that, Ralph, when you said it's the best thing that happens, colonization. Colonization.
Absolutely.
That's not slavery, is it? Is that from a...
no, colonization, not slavery. Colonization.
Is that from an economic standpoint?
Economic
standpoint. Because you have to make these things really clear.
Absolutely, my mistake. If he's taking the baseline...
that happens.
Absolutely, but bad things have happened to everyone but everyone.
That's
so
true,
racism, there's a myth about racism. If you look at the 1960s data of racism, that's when we have the best data starts on racism. Do you know who the most racist country in the world is?
Tell me.
India. Indians are more racist.
Oh, the caste system.
Not the caste system, just racism. Indians don't marry out, won't share a drink with you. The second most racist people are the Arabs and around the Middle East.
Oh.
So when you say racism, you can't say white on black racism for historical crime unless you don't look at the racism from all the communities. The left say black people, no. You have put down black people because of historical white racism, preventing black power from surfacing, preventing true black pride from rising up, and preventing Africa today building its empire to join the table. So the enemies of black people are not white people. They're not even the most racist. Indians are way more racist than anyone, like any black or white person. The enemy for black power is the left wing. Raspeg, gang, gang, gang. We're here to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. And have no fear for atomic energy, because none of them can stop the tide. Yeah, rise up, black power. And here's your leader, man.
Big up, big up. Nah, big up, big up, big up.
Over to the master.
Interesting point.
Thank you. So what was I saying before? What was you going to say about black people in the diaspora or whatever it is living over here, knife crime? Have you got any takes on that?
It all boils down to identity again. Not everybody, not everybody classified by the state as black consider themselves as black. Some say that they're, I'm African, or I'm just human,
Somali,
or we're all this or that.
I agree.
Right. So when you say the word, I understand what you're saying and I can visualize what you're saying. But people are not unified on their identity. So as you were saying, to claim what is yours or mine, right? That's an individual. That's mine.
Yeah.
But if you're going to claim something as a community, you have to have that community tight, locked down. Do you understand? We have to know who's in that community and what are the values are before you can start making any claims. Because it's like saying, I claim that's mine, but what is my name? Where do I live? But I don't know. That's mine anyway. That's mine. You got my stuff. But who are you? Who are you?
But let's look at the data, and here's the truth. That again, Rash said, gang, 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 anti-Shaka. You hate this, but here's the data. Before the liberal corruption happened in society, you can roughly say 1960s, black families had a higher nuclear family retention rate, had lower out of birth wedlock, higher church attendance. Black culture and society was stronger like for white society by about 2%. Enter no-fault divorce, the revolution of equal rights and liberalism, and right now if you look at the data, black family,
That generation came in the 60s. They've done it.
Okay,
Come on then, we'll
be with that in a second.
You're going to shout and then not.
So if
you
you
can't
look at
shout from the side.
This is a savagery.
You can't shout from the side, bro.
That's right.
So you look at that data, what happened from the 19th?
It's not just
Let him go. So what happened to the data from the 1960s?
true. I'll take that one. Yeah.
So what happened to the data from the 1960s? Out of birth wedlock now has gone up to 70-80% in the black community. 1 in 4 or 5 black children in the UK are out of parental nuclear families. If I correlate the crime data and I see disparities in black crime, and I think this is some cultural systemic oppression, if it was so, it would be different in each society, but it isn't. And the numbers in Belgium and Sweden are looking the same. What is the root cause? The root cause is the deconstruction and breakdown of the black nuclear family that's been impacted more by liberalism than the white family. So I see a young black teenager here, and I should mentor them when I was young. They come out of that pipeline. 1 out of 5 of them are in nuclear families. The rest are broken. Their path to economic success is not going to be the pipeline. It's going to be a pipeline to prison. Who's to blame? Not such systemic structured institution of oppression or whatever the department is that does that. It's a breakdown of the black nuclear family. Because of liberalism attacked all nuclear families, not just black. It's attacked the white nuclear family, the brown. Islam, and I have an Aki in the house, Islam has retained its cultural protection. So if you look at the Muslim data, high in birth rates, no decomposition.
People low IQ, don't you? Is that linked to it?
But not about IQ, no strong cultural cohesion in Islam. very low divorce in Islam, very low single families in Islam.
falls across many cultures. So,
It does. No, but
you can't make that.
no, but if you drill that even data, black Muslims are less likely to be out of wedlock than non-black Muslims.
So
Because
Afro-Caribbean.
Islam, right? So
Are you saying
Islam.
Afro-Caribbean instead of?
I use black as just a
No,
loose
because I'm saying
umbrella.
if you deal with Nigerians and Somalis.
Oh no, there are
they're
differences
generally-
within the set, absolutely. So within,
I'm
if you
saying
drill the
Somalis
sets,
generally, they
absolutely,
would be married.
So if you, yeah.
Nigerians generally, they would be married.
But the message
So,
is, yeah.
because I would say taking religion, even Christianity out of, taking even Christianity out of it, where, as you said, in liberalism, let's say the feminist movement, where marriage, what did they say about marriage? It's
No
like
full divorce was allowed.
no, what was the thing they used to say about women said about marriage? It's like a
Suppress it. Yeah.
no, but a contract, it's like basically it's like a slave contract, basically, yeah.
Property rights, yeah.
So I'm saying they basically disrespected the importance of marriage.
Yes.
But are you trying to pretend that the system, as it were, had no influence or impact? So, for instance, let's say in the Caribbean, where you might have a similar amount of babies born out of wedlock, but because of the community spirit and the nature of those communities who are poor, you don't have that because Mrs. So-and-so over there will give you the same licks that your, or beats that your mum and your auntie. Do you see what I mean? So
It's a really good point. It's a great point to make. So yes, you're right. If you drill the numbers deeper, and God knows that's all I do all my life is play with numbers, you will see disparities between the black diaspora in England performing both across their ethnicities. For example, certain ethnicities perform better within the black community, and you see a clear signal that families with faith perform a lot better, be them Nigerian Christians or Nigerian Muslims.
I want to take this conversation seriously, but then you cut me up because we have a man here who you're a white supremacist.
I'm a white supremacist. No,
That's
no.
what so self-confess. What you say, you're all for white people.
But that's a silly
You
point.
use no, but
I'm
you,
pro-white.
no, but we're happy to have that.
No,
You
pro-white.
use the N-word freely,
Absolutely.
and you've justified it. And you're here talking about black issues to two black men. Are you guys not like this is?
well, this is what I'm saying. You're not
I mean,
going to say it here, are you?
Why are you entertaining this?
Well,
The-
I've
the
already
reason
had a
why-
conversation on Siri and Bob the Builder.
And
You
this
missed it.
isn't a personal thing, but
we already
I'm
found
taking
this
what
out.
you say.
Absolutely.
I'm taking what you
So
say
did we
on
do
your
the
thing.
I don't take him that. To be honest, I don't take that
and
that
no
seriously.
offence, but you've got a black guy filming, you've got two black guys actually entertaining this guy's.
Right.
He believes, but he believes you're low IQ. He believes you're low IQ.
But Jordan is speaking, for me.
You were actually nodding when he was talking.
No, but Jordan
You
is
were
speaking
nodding.
for me.
You were nodding along to it.
So this is-
So you're not just filming. I think you agree with this.
Hold on. So let me clarify my
When he was
position.
talking, I was agreeing.
Let me clarify my
I
position.
mean, I agree with his
Well,
ideology.
now I'm telling you what. I mean, I don't know if you're aware.
No, but you're updating me on his ideology. But that's got nothing to do with what he was
And you're
saying.
aware of it.
But let him say his ideology. That's right. Let him
Yeah, he's
speak.
speaking for me, not give me respond. Let me
Exactly,
respond to him,
yeah,
brother,
yeah.
first.
Go on.
So earlier today, Bob the Builder, I consider my elder brother and our Christian leader in the park, and Siri addressed the use of the word nigger on public and camera. You missed it. And I said, why would I use the word and what is the word used for? If you'd like to rewind, you can see Bob the Builder, myself, and Leon addressing
Yeah, I'd love
that
to
issue.
hear, yeah.
But the short version of it is because a racial insult is used by the left to allow their narrative of racism to keep black people down and white people left wing. It is my spiritual duty to smash that narrative
So
wide
it's your
open.
right to use a word that actually may offend and go back to people where black people were actually oppressed back in the day. It's your
I have
right.
no offense to black people. I'm
Correct
not a
me where I'm wrong.
racist.
Correct me where I'm wrong.
I just
I'm
don't-
not a racist,
Please,
so
please
that
don't use
doesn't
the word
bother me.
while I'm present. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
please don't use it in this discussion for quotations or whatever. What I'm saying is at least you're open about your perspective. If somebody comes to me and says, I believe black people are low IQ, I have no problem with that because you're telling me.
Right.
But after I refute yourself,
No, I
refute
told you that. I told you that.
No,
He
no.
was here talking like he
I'm
knows
saying-
about black.
No, but you're not the
making
first person.
families
You're
and
not the
making
first
blah,
person
blah, blah,
about
blah.
him.
Let him
No, but
say.
I'm
not
saying,
talking about him, I'm
brother,
talking about
wait,
what he
brother,
said. What he
brother,
said.
brother,
What he said.
brother.
Let the opposition.
Brother, what I'm saying is, I knew that before
I'll
you
tell
said
you
it.
my position.
I knew
Yeah,
that
I'll
before
tell you
you
my
said it. So
position.
when you say you told me that,
Yeah, I'll tell you my
I knew
position.
it before.
I wouldn't have got involved in this conversation if it wasn't for listening to Ralph's talking, because it's not who am I to talk about black issues and black families back then?
You might have of course, everyone's got something to contribute. Everyone's got something to contribute. What my point is that when somebody's saying this, the people on camera can decide for themselves.
Right.
After I refute the hell out of him, who's got a low IQ and who ain't.
Happy to accept
You see what I'm
that.
saying?
Okay.
I've got a video with me and him talking, me recording it, and I absolutely annihilate him. But that's fine, But anyway, that's fine. I'm just
I
saying.
think you're delusional, my friend.
That's fine. What my, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, so what my point is at least he's coming out and saying it. Personally, I don't think he's really believes. He's one of these people that the more eccentric you are, the more you get the attention. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I mean? That's my belief personally.
I'm not sure about him. Are you happy to? So you now, he said he freely uses the M word. He's quite happy about it. You're giving a platform on your platform. Are you quite happy with that?
If I was white, would you be asking me that same question?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I don't think. I don't think so.
So the history for BMB's audience, Jordan likes
that doesn't
to be
make any
happy
sense.
platform, he's been
Because
trying
you're
to-
supposed to. Hold on. Are you telling me that a black reporter shouldn't find the KKK and neo-Nazis and start interviewing and talking to them?
Good man, of course.
Why
he
not?
should.
Where does that come from?
Of course.
Okay. I'll give you. Should a Jewish person give a Nazi a platform?
To have a conversation?
Yes. I would say no. I would say no. That's my opinion.
You might go and interview that person. That person
Exactly.
might come across stupid, and he's made that person look stupid.
But look.
Here's
Until
a
I
great
came
thought
along,
for you.
no one was challenging these
I just
beliefs.
want him to
He was
speak and say
talking
his
about
point.
black
But you haven't
families,
listened.
and you were going, yeah. So I've come along, and it frustrated
I don't
me.
need you
But he doesn't generally challenge.
Yeah,
He's
I'm not
interviewed
challenging.
me for about an hour, and he just asked
But
questions.
BMB,
He just
for
interviewed
Black
me.
Man, for your audience, let me address Jordan this and both your points in agreement. There's an old saying, sunlight is the best disinfectant for bad ideas. Here's the sunlight, here are my bad ideas, and attempt to refute them. Don't hide in this idea of saying,
totally
no, thou
agree.
shall not speak. That goes against every principle intellectually.
I'd rather listen to
and
everything
what I'm
he has to
saying.
say
That's
than
right.
say
I'd rather
something.
have this young brother try to
Sure.
refute me
This-
as opposed to be
He's
silent.
going to say this, let's say, on a channel. Yeah? People might listen to him. But when he's saying it in our presence, and we give another side to the story, annihilating his perspective, or like, for instance, when he mentioned about the black community here.
But none of you were
I put-
challenging him.
Hold on, let's see. I'm about to finish. We're going to see.
disagree with him.
Did I say to him that does not include the Somali community? Yes or no?
Yeah, you're attempting to
Right?
argue.
No.
against me.
I'm saying, and he agreed. Yes. Did I say that does not include the Nigerian community? And he agreed. Yes. Did I also say the Afro-Caribbean in the Caribbean? And he agreed. So how am I not challenging him?
Hold on.
He changed his position when I came in.
Yes,
All
I
right.
haven't changed it.
Oh, I'm saying what you said.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I just want to make a point here.
Yeah.
I just want to make a point here.
I think there's naivety. But
I
I'll
just
go.
want to make a point. No, hold it.
No, I don't
it's-
believe. No, you don't
It's
represent
getting a
all
bit
black
mad now.
people. You're
No,
your own
stop
person.
for a minute. Stop
You're
for a
your own
minute.
person.
Cool down. Cool down.
All black people.
Cool down. They're all speaking at the same time.
See why I prefer him.
Yes. So the
He comes in
conversation.
there trying to
Wait a
insult
minute.
us. He's our saviour.
1 minute.
to speak on our-
Right. See, the camera is on, and people are listening. So if you've got more than one person speaking at the same time, it sounds like confusion and rabble, and nobody can learn anything. Right. Now, to dealing with the word challenge, I may hear you say something, right? But I can wait till you finish, and once you finish, then you will see my challenge. Challenge doesn't mean that I have to interrupt you. Challenge is just confusion and rubbish and
bless
noise,
you. God
right?
bless
If you're going to
Talk.
challenge and challenge with skill and power, you can afford to relax, let the person finish what they're saying, and then come out with what you have to
If I
say,
may interject,
and that's the power. That's
His brother
real.
has rightly come here with a view
That's
to
real
challenge me.
challenge.
Jordan, God bless his soul, is here to be
I
back
stand
for
by
me.
what. And look,
Absolutely,
I haven't been
good man.
interrupting people, have I? I've been waiting for my
You
time to
interrupted me
talk.
about 4 or 5
No, I
times.
didn't. I've been waiting for my time
No,
to
you
talk.
interrupted me several times.
No, I didn't.
It's on camera, you can watch it. So, I mean, in regards to what he said, if that's your belief, then how is that different than millions of other people? And how is that different represented by the media and by certain black people themselves? My whole point is we, black people, have to change that image.
Absolutely.
How many people do you know put out music, they want whites and everyone to buy the music, but don't say this one N-word in your song? Does that sound retarded to you?
When I came along,
Rap my
when I
music,
came
I'm still
along-
talking.
Yeah, so
Rap my
I don't get
music.
a chance to speak.
Well, let me finish.
You're next.
I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished yet. So I'm saying, here's my music. I want your money for saying this stuff.
Yes, brother.
But if I hear you say this on the street, then we're going to bust your head. So some kids may never have known that generation of the N-word, never known what it was, but you fools put it out there, and now they know what the hell it is. So I'm going to bop my head to a tune as a white man or a white woman,
I concur.
And I can't say this word. And you put it so catchy, like it's right at the point. And it goes, you know what I mean? So what am I supposed to be silent? And it goes deep in your subconscious.
Don't be scared to say
Do you
the
see
word.
what I'm saying? No, I don't. What it is, I don't want to encourage. I hate the word with passion.
Yeah.
So when you said it, I was going to walk away. I was like holding myself. So I'm saying, I just ask everyone, please don't say it. But my point is, I'm saying we look like a bunch of fools.
Yes.
You get me? So that's why I want to link with brothers of black intellectualism.
Yes.
And we represent the black community. Leave all that garbage and those other people that want to do what they're doing, and we take that baton and roll on with it.
Okay, loads of points have passed, but just want to clarify my position. So I came and watched for a bit. The conversation was coming to an end. You'd moved off, and you were kind of, and he was kind of summarising. He was giving this speech about families, black families need to do this, need to do that. Like I said, a guy that I know full well uses the M word, says black people are low IQ, says vile fit. Obviously, I have my own views because of what he says about Islam as well, which I'm sure you are against as well. Now, I'm
normally he's talking about.
Now,
as you know,
my issue was that, I mean, obviously, there's a cameraman who I see as a black man nodding along like this as well. And I'm wondering why a guy like this is just being left to talk about black issues without being challenged. This is Speaker's Corner, it's a play with challenges. In this instance, I'm not saying shut him down. I'm just saying it looked like people that were just listening to this guy on these issues.
Let me say something because I'm the cameraman.
Yeah,
you are. And I don't
Hold
know.
on for me for a second. I'm the cameraman.
Big up my brother.
Apparently to him, I was nodding and thingy. So I was nodding. What I wanted to do was let him finish speaking, and then I wanted to say my part afterwards. After he finished speaking, I went into the mic and I explained that I didn't agree with a certain part. I said, because you said something about it was the best thing that happened to black people. So I had to clarify with you. Did you mean economically, or did you mean because there was a lot of horrific things the British Empire done to in Africa and all over the world. So I challenged it at the time as well. Just need to be a little bit patient, my pal.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was coming.
Yeah, sweet.
That's right.
Yeah. It's on camera. The question's on camera. My question is on camera.
So here's my response to this. Jordan came in and Jordan said, I see Ralph talking to a bunch of black people.
I'm not trying to save you, that's for sure.
So Jordan comes in and he sees a bunch of Ralph talking to a bunch of black people, and he does what we call and classifies the left of the
Who's
bigotry.
we
In the far right. We classify this intellectually as what we call, the expression is the bigotry of low expectations. Like this gentleman, this one, cannot make up their own mind, that somehow have this power
Very clever,
to
Ralph.
tell them what they
Very
are.
clever, Ralph.
Whereas here
Very
I
clever.
am, and as you said, here's a non-black person who says, I don't want to speak about black issues. I want to speak about black issues. It is my Lord Jesus Christ tells me, it's my moral discipline and authority to speak about
This
black
man
power.
was doing white power earlier. This man was doing white power earlier.
Let him finish.
You take him serious.
Trolling you.
That's what
Exactly.
This is what I'm saying to you.
Life
is king. This is what I'm saying to
You guys are
you.
getting told. You're entertaining this. You're entertaining this.
What I'm saying to you is, some people, when they speak, like me,
Very
I
good,
sometimes,
Ralph.
I'm talking serious, but then I'm also doing my thing.
Of course.
I'm saying with him, it's similar. I don't take him serious.
That's what we do.
Tan was doing something similar,
Yeah.
except Sam was saying certain things
Yeah.
that, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
you should have been shut down for.
Yeah.
What my point is, if you can-
So the N word shouldn't be shut down.
no, that's what I'm saying. Because he was saying it to black people, to offend them.
Okay.
You get me?
Okay.
So I'm saying if you say that here, you should be warned. If you
But that goes
continue,
against earlier. You gave a big speech about you want to hear and
his
you wanna hear
opinion,
people's-
not that. Right, let's say it again, just for the clarification of this one individual. When he used the N-word, I was gritting my teeth because I was vexed. I was contemplating whether to walk away. I then said, please don't use anyone, use the word while I am here. Okay? It is, I guess you're right to do it, so therefore I can walk away.
Yeah, but it's my
if
right to respect you,
Hold on.
mate.
So I'm saying if someone follows me and says it, then we can go for a walk over there and we can see how much you're going to say after that. It's as simple as that. What my point is, if the guy is willing to get his points across in a discussion without them type of words. Because my point is, somebody could say to me, a Muslim could say, why are you talking to Sunnis? They believe you're a kafir. They believe you should be killed. He's never said that. He might have said that about black people in his jokey, attention-seeking way. But what my point is this is how humans do what they're supposed to do when you've got an intellect. You bring someone else's point across. Imagine the people that support him listen to us talking, and then they say, actually, nah, bruv, you got refuted by them two black brothers.
you should be-
Do you understand my point?
refuting me,
And then he now is looking like a fool the more he says what he says, because we keep refuting
and
him.
the whole thing was
Yeah,
derailed.
if that
because-
happened, I would have just.
But this whole thing was derailed because Jordan believed that I should not have an audience. Prior to Jordan's arrival, we were talking about things you were challenging me, some demographics. We were talking about the black
I
issues.
wanted to step
We were
in.
not talking about
I
me.
wanted to step in and make
now
sure
we're
that
talking about me.
Exactly. Let's get back to the subject. Let's leave him out the subject. Let's get to the bloody core.
Yeah, that's right.
More important, blood. Forget him as an
Because-
individual.
Can I make a point? Yeah. So I think part of the development and discipline and raising of the quality of the conversation is that you stay focused on the subject and we discuss the subject and then we learn things. But when we start saying, well, this person said and that person said, once you start moving into individuals, you get confusion and then passion rises and people feel insulted. But if we just keep on the subject, put the stuff on the table, and then we see it.
Can I respond? Can I speak? Can I speak?
Mainstream media is it?
So can I speak? Let me speak. So we got a man here, right? We got a man here who I've seen him in comments sort of.
Again, he's talking about me.
Yeah, I'm talking about you because that is the point I'm going to make in this.
your point,
So
yeah.
I just want to make. They've got a guy here who openly talked about getting rid of Islam, getting rid of Muslims,
Yes.
dehumanising Muslims in that kind of way. I've heard. I won't repeat the comments, but pretty vile stuff. Imagine then I know this about this man, and then I speak to him about family issues in Islam, and he's telling me, yeah, in Islam you need to do that and do that. I want to challenge him on that. I'm not going to listen to him about telling me about Muslims in that way, and that's what was happening in that situation. That's why I stepped in, and I'm like, are you guys aware who's actually talking about black families and things like that?
But
that was my point. That was my point.
Why would we not know who he is, right? If you're a regular at
Well,
Speaker's Corner,
because I've got one guy nodding, and no one's challenging this. No one's challenging
keep
this.
saying
You're
no one
going
is.
to-
So this is
No
the
one
bigotry of
was-
low
no,
expectations.
what-
Right
what-
out
what-
off the bat.
I don't get it.
I had high expectations.
Within
I had
5
high
minutes of me being here,
Everyone's here to
I
challenge.
put in something. You get me?
we
I'm not
get-
a person that likes to bulldoze conversations and derail them.
Really?
I wait.
Really?
Yes.
You?
Well, go on, give me an example.
Mr. Sunni Shia,
yeah,
everything's about Sunni Shia.
No, it isn't. It's
I
about
would like-
Sunnism.
I would like to have seen you
It's
step
about
in and
Sunni-
say, actually,
it's about Sunnism.
Ralph, you believe
Exactly,
low
but I'm
IQ,
not your
challenge
slave.
it, but you weren't. You were
I'm
like,
not your
yeah,
slave,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
your
yeah,
slave.
yeah,
So
yeah,
what
yeah.
you
You're
like?
talking about
What
us.
you like?
So he's nodding, you're going like that.
But we've all been talking about people now, the Jordans here. Let's get on to the topics.
What I'm saying to
Did
you
you
is,
get my point
he
about
would
what-
like for me to talk about something. Again, a Sunni with the mentality that blacks are your slaves, I would like for you. No, that doesn't work that
If
way.
I saw a Nazi telling Jews about Jewish families,
Yes.
I'll pull him up and say, look,
But I'm
look,
saying,
man, this guy's no one to talk to you. This one is no one to talk to
So
you
he
about
tried
it.
to go with the narrative that I bulldoze conversations. Look at all
do
the
bulldoze
conversations. Let's see.
You bulldoze
Let's
some of my
see.
conversations.
Let's see. I'm trying to talk.
You're a conversation bulldozer.
Jordan, you should be talking about
Okay.
the topics.
One sec.
Is that how it works? But when I talk, everyone
Hold
can
on,
talk.
one second. So, hold on, he made an accusation. So I'm saying to you, in these conversations, watch where I stand like I did here. I ask someone, what's the conversation about? I wait for an opportunity to make my point. I've done the same with Raspet last week, 2 weeks ago, I've done the same before, and I always do that. That is the nature. Because if you just come in and talk, and you don't know what they're talking about, then you look like a fool.
That's right.
Do you understand?
Yes,
So that's
good.
why he responded directly to what I was saying, because it was right on line with the conversation. That is not
Now we
bulldozing.
derail talk.
Do you understand?
Right, okay, can I make this point? So, from what I understand, that your position, listening to what you just said,
Yep.
your position is that if you come into a space and then you see somebody,
And by the way, I was asked to come in. This gentleman seemed to have told me to
yeah,
come in.
okay, so
Yeah, I
you was
asked-
invited.
you
Yeah.
asked me to come in.
Yeah, so you came in.
asked me to
You
come
came
in.
into the space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then you, yeah.
I made an inflammatory statement about you. When?
You acting like I couldn't defend myself. That's all.
When?
That's why I said come in.
When?
No, not inflammatory.
Yeah, I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to deal with that.
Tell
I'm
me
going to
what
go
I
there.
said.
I'm going to
Tell
go
me
there.
what I
Wait, I'm going to go
So I
there.
did. I was sitting there nodding like that.
That's right.
At
Wait
the
a
time
minute.
did I say that? When you invited me in the conversation, what did I say?
No, you came in and said that after.
Why did you invite me in the conversation?
You did something on the side of the camera.
Inflammatory towards you?
No.
But that's what you said.
No. Sir.
Okay,
No,
I'm just
no,
clarifying
no,
it,
no.
all right.
I'm clarifying that you didn't say anything inflammatory. When you
Yeah.
said something about nodding my head.
Yeah,
I
that
found
was after. That was
yeah,
after.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Fine.
Fine.
You get it
Okay,
anyway, you
okay.
get
So
it.
can we
Yeah,
get back to the topic?
So my point
Right,
stands.
yeah,
You invited
okay.
me in. Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah,
Right.
I did.
So,
Fine.
so I want to take it back to
Yeah, he was talking about
the
black
conversation.
power.
Yeah,
He says
okay,
they've got to talk about black power.
yeah, I'm gonna rewind. So you came into the topic. You came into the circle.
Yeah.
And you just said you was invited into the circle, and so you ended up there. Okay.
Yes.
Now your perception was that Ralph was talking to the group, and there was a number of black
He was
people.
preaching. He was preaching.
No, I'm not going to say preaching.
He was saying Christian black people need to do this. Black
Yeah,
power.
well, yeah.
Black Christians need to do
Yeah,
that. And
all right, so you believe-
I'm
okay,
looking at it, trying not to laugh.
Okay, one
Trying
second.
not to laugh.
You believe he was preaching? Okay, I just
No,
said he
he
was
was.
talking.
Okay.
Okay. You believe he was preaching,
And it was
So-
finalising, wasn't it? Your conversation was coming to an end.
Well, how would you know? How would you know whether it's coming
You know
to an
when
end
the
or not?
conversation was coming to the end
No,
because
no.
he was left.
You
with the
only
camera.
just
I may be
arrived.
wrong about that. But it looked
Right,
like it.
right. So you just arrived, so you don't know what's going on. Right. So
I was there for a bit.
yeah. So you came into the conversation. You're there,
Yeah.
and then you perceived that Ralph was preaching to the group here, and that there was a number of black people in the group.
Yeah.
And then you were saying,
I did perceive that. I saw that. Yeah.
yeah, okay. And then you was wondering why Ralph will be talking to a number of black people,
Yes.
and was talking what he was, or saying what he was saying without being challenged.
Yeah.
So I
And
want to
wasn't
know.
sure if you guys know who you're
Yeah,
listening to.
But hold
Who
on.
you're listening
Yeah.
to. Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
go on.
made the statement that he was not being challenged. So what do you understand challenge to be?
Well, no, when I say challenged, I'm talking about on those issues that I brought up. The fact that he believes black people are low IQ, the fact that he says the N-word whenever he wants, his views like that. That's what I meant. On the conversation we were talking about, I understand he was talking about Christians, black people went to church more back then. I listened to what he said.
Yeah.
And even if I'm saying maybe the points he says are even true, but I think coming out of this guy, I just wanted to there's a cameraman in to this guy, and then I wanted to let you know what this guy stands for, and that he's not the right person to be talking about.
Are you making that judgment on
Yes.
Who gives you that judgment?
Do you see what I'm saying to you?
The bigotry
It's
of
very
lower-
serious. Listen to what I'm saying. Imagine
It's a
this.
form of racism.
And this is what I say. He brought up the Sunni Shia thing. It's not Sunni versus Shia, it's Sunni versus black. Here you have another Sunni trying to tell us how stupid we are to entertain a conversation.
It's the most racist
Surely
thing
we
he's done
can,
this afternoon.
we're intelligent, me and you especially on this,
Jordan is
because we've
being
been
advised to
here
leave the
for a longer
conversation.
time than this brother here. He's
I'm
new.
being biased, you say.
So he's trying to learn his way. Our brother Black Van Man he's learning his way here. Me and you've been coming here for time. So we understand how this thing rolls. So we don't need no Sunni so-called slave master to come and tell me who the hell to debate, what subject.
Get it out, bring it out, get it out.
What do you mean get it out? Sunniism is an anti-black slave religion, if I haven't said it before, but obviously I have. So for those, if he wants to say, well, you lot don't know Isa, surely you do. But anyway, my point is, where does he get this gusto from? To tell
Gusto.
this
May I answer because you speak
where the
about?
hell
May I
does-
answer? May I answer?
to
May I
tell
answer?
us,
So
the black
Yeah,
telect,
we've heard it.
and our brother over here,
So let me answer my
about
question for you.
our and then he wants to pretend we're low IQ from his perspective too.
But look,
So may I answer that question?
but
May I answer the
can I
question?
respond?
That's
Because
some
he's
joke.
he's talking about me.
That's
He's talking about me. I was invited into this conversation.
I'm always invited to this conversation,
To be honest,
so-
I may not have got involved. I mean, I think you probably sensed that I was probably anti-Ralph by what I was maybe saying behind you.
Anti-Ralph.
And I came in.
Yeah, Jordan's my political enemy.
Well, anti what he says is what he stands for.
Okay.
What Ralph stands for is very divisive.
Yes. I'm here to divide.
Yes. So yeah, and then when I came into the conversation, like I said, look,
Who takes him seriously? Seriously,
70% of the UK population.
No.
exactly.
This is what I'm
You
saying.
guys were. That's what I'm saying.
This is what I'm saying.
Not
He has
you guys
these-
here.
No,
So if that's true, but Isa, if that's true, why are you having
Guys, all the white
Listen
people.
to me. I'm saying in relation to his racial spouts and so on. Yes? No man in their right mind would be known to be saying the N-word
Why?
and then be coming out the street unless you've got a troll factor to it. Because you might get caught
So may I
slipping.
respond because
So I'm
you spent a lot
saying,
of time talking about me and you've had many sentences. So let's be crystal
Go
clear.
ahead, go ahead.
So Jordan came here for what is the history? I arrived here 10 months ago at Speaker's Corner. In 2 months I would have recorded 1 year's of data of all your conversations, subject to mining. Jordan is a political enemy. He's tried to get me blocked on COE, mainstream media, subscribe, and everyone else because he doesn't want that voice heard.
I haven't tried to get you blocked.
have tried to challenge me. You came in straight away with good challenges.
I corrected it.
And both of you have been subject to this soft form of racism that somehow, because you're black, Jordan knows more than you.
Thank you, exactly.
Because Jordan's objective is to stop me.
Very clever,
Not once
That's
has
exactly my
Jordan
bread and
actually addressed a single point of mine. You have 4 times, you have once. You have no time. So if you're ready to stop talking about me,
I still stand by my stance. But if you guys disagree, carry on letting him talk to you about black families and things like that.
Correct.
Carry on,
Black
carry on
families are
doing
the
it.
key
And I'll step
solution.
away. If you guys want to entertain this,
The point I was actually making,
if you guys want to
the
entertain
point I
it,
was getting to is that he's trying to isolate it, to basically say black people's families are broken down. I'm making it bigger as to why. Is that our nature?
That would be a great
Do you understand?
topic. That's a good conversation.
So this is where I was going with it. Do you
You're
understand?
right, you're right.
And
you're
then
right.
I was
Clearly,
then I was going to annihilate.
Clearly, you guys are happy for him to preach to you about
So,
families and stuff like that.
that's fine, that's fine.
Carry on. then.
I'm
I'll
happy.
step away. I'll step away. I'll step away.
Nice try, Jordan.
He's emotional. Hold it, brother. Sorry.
Making another judgment.
I was trying to talk, and now he interrupted me. Saying,
I interrupted you.
yeah, I was talking. You
You've been
stopped.
talking for 80% of the
It doesn't
conversation.
matter. As long as
It does matter.
Yes, it does. See, you see what I mean with these people. Remember that. What I was saying, brother.
Who's these people?
You Sunnis.
Sunni or white?
Sunnis.
What is it? What is it?
Sunnis. What the hell? You don't know that? Flipping out, brother. Sunnis. Yes.
And everyone else,
How is that not
everyone else
known?
from the far right, we can see that diversity
I've just
is
said it
clearly
to
a
him.
strength.
Oh, he's trying to pull a race card.
Clearly diversity is a
Who
strength.
cares, bro?
Race card. What do you mean
That's what he said. He's trying to pull a
race card. You've openly called me a white devil on camera. On camera. So it's not a race card. So when you say these people, when you say I need to know whether you're referring to me as a white guy or a Sunni.
Okay. As a Sunni, if I'm saying Sunniism is anti-black, and then a white guy like him joins Sunniism, isn't that the bloody hand going in the perfect glove? What the hell? What the hell? That's like a bloody white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed him over there joining neo-Nazi.
We love the race realism. I don't know what your name is. But
Are you joining Antifa with that
Look how you all laugh at that comment. Look how you laugh at that comment.
Do you want to join the Antifa? Do you want to join the Antifa?
All I wanted to say was,
take the
all I wanted to say was,
Very interesting.
all I wanted to say
Very
was,
interesting how you're all supporting each other.
yeah, that's fine, that's fine. All I wanted to say, one second, I just want to say this bit. My point was, where I've heard him continuously say, or people.
What is that point
Oh,
you made? No, because I want to clarify about
Oh,
the hand
no,
going
no,
into
no.
the hand. What is that?
hand the glove.
Okay,
Yeah, go on.
if I say, excuse me,
You need to learn
please,
how to
please.
speak with
Are you a
some
secret
manners.
Sunni? Are you a secret
need to learn
Sunni?
how to speak with
Excuse
some
me?
manners. I let you speak to
You
me
want
that
some
way
DNA?
last time
You want some
because
DNA?
I found you funny.
Listen, stop the retard.
I'm not gonna let you
Listen,
speak like that.
I'm gonna
to
get you
other
disabled
people
badge
and
for your
talk
head.
to myself.
Get out of here,
Bro,
please.
you need to. You are a loudmouth buffoon. You don't know what you're saying.
No, he
Your
never.
head
He
is
never.
empty.
No, no,
Your arms in your face.
He never interrupts conversations.
Are you a Sunni as well? Are you a Sunni as well? As I was saying, that's fine. Now be
Learn
quiet.
manners.
Okay, go away. As I was saying to the
you
black
see.
brother, as I was saying to my brother, very simply
This
this.
did turn into a Sunni
Oh
issue.
my God.
No, because you said before you don't
Oh
do it, but you
my
have. You
God.
turned it into a Sunni issue.
Again, no, let me just.
We're talking about
I
black
just want to
things,
get this
fuck the
one
Sunni
bloody
shit.
bit
Talk about
out.
black things.
As I was saying, as I know about him, there's been various things said about him. But one of the things that's consistent, and which he seems to not deny, is that he believes black people have a low IQ.
They do in a group average.
That's fine, that's fine.
Want to debate that?
Wait, let me just get the. As I was saying,
And you're an
I
N-word as
was,
well, and you're
as
an
I
N-word.
was, they go together. As I was saying, that what I was doing was getting at that point through this way. Because if you have a people who are normally civilized and on top and equal with everyone, let's say on IQ or even superior, when you only examine their situation and condition in isolation, then you could come up with that garbage. But when you look at the bigger picture through history and why they may be in these situations, then you can say, look at their low IQ. Do you see? But when you go into, well, what caused the broken families? What caused them to be self-destructive,
I mean,
etc.,
I don't
etc.?
agree, but you're dominating. But he's dominating as we talk a lot.
Go ahead.
So let's take this simple. Let's go back to the basic question of black and IQ. So let me ask you some simple, quick questions.
Is there anything you guys need me for? If you're happy to carry it, I'll go, because if you're happy to entertain with him.
Assalamu alaikum. Good office. Thank you. Boom. Right. So let me ask you a quick questions here. Do you believe all all Nigerian people have the same IQ? Okay. So do you believe there's an IQ difference in Nigerian people? Do you believe all Chinese people have the same IQ? Okay. So you accept within an ethnic cluster, within a nation, within a tribe, we have difference in IQ. Great. So if I took all these differences in IQ and I sum them up, do you believe they're all going to be the same?
Bless up yourself. Come with Trump with some demon today.
Great foundation. So we agree that there's a group difference in IQ across within an ethnicity, between ethnicities, and across races. So
I don't believe in a race thing, but go ahead.
Okay, so I'm making the statement that there's IQ variation within an ethnic cluster, between ethnic clusters, and across the races.
Can I ask you something?
Hold on, no. Let me just respond. Let me just respond.
And Christ teaches us to love them all.
Oh, stop your nonsense. Hold on. Right. So as I was saying, you've mentioned this particular thing.
Yes.
Do you believe that there are situations that can cause a group to appear at a certain moment in time from history down to the present and the future that can make them appear as though it's natural for that way for them to have a low IQ? Or are you saying they've always had that and that's genetically normal for them?
No, to answer that question is IQ evolves, IQ is changing, and IQ is rising. So when I was young, the top IQ was 205. I looked up to people like Kasparov, my heroes. Now the IQ is tapping 300 for the peak IQ. IQ is moving and raising up. Different people have different IQs for simple reasons.
Can I ask just one question?
Do you believe that blacks have always been lower than everyone else?
Simple reason. Evolutionary racial divergence. Why do we know this? It's very easy. There are 20,000 genes for IQ, 516 code for intelligence. Certain environments did not need to code for that intelligence.
I understand what you mean.
Can that change? I mentor a child at Caltech. He's Nigerian. His IQ is 230. He's 35 points faster than me and better than me. He's black and he's brighter than me and he's quicker than me. Can there be a smart black guy with a 230 IQ? I know him.
Right. So
are the lower IQs showing up in the black population? Yes. Why do I care? Let me finish. No one likes the second bit. No one likes the second bit of why I care. They get all excited by the first bit. Because when our population quiesces at 10 billion people, the bottom 20%, 2 billion IQ of all colors is a human moral catastrophe in the making. For black people with a larger group IQ difference, they will represent because they're breeding later.
400 buckler years of slavery. 400 years head start the white man.
In English, please.
that's not all black people. That's not black people.
You know, this is a public place.
This
man
care about the law.
That's what I'm saying. Come speak, my brother.
Come close.
Not all
So as you
black
can hear
people.
me, you can record me. You can record me.
Not all black people.
Subscribe to
Black
Black Family.
Indeed. Not all black people were enslaved, correct?
No.
So therefore, if he's talking about all black people, we can't bring in no 400 years stuff.
Okay.
What my whole point is he saying that it's innate and intrinsic to black people, or is he saying, well, because of causative factors and things that have happened, that we register as low IQ in that
Understand, brother Issa, the answer simply is because of your racial diversion, evolution history. Remember, you all came from black people, right? Genetically, your IQ took a certain path, other people took a different IQ path. So while you're here in time, where you go in the future is something different. So I'm giving you a single example. I'm mentoring a guy at Caltech with an IQ of 230. He's faster than me, he's quicker than me. Like I can finish your thoughts, he can finish mine. Quicker.
I don't think you could do that.
That's fine.
That's fine. No, you can drink. You can drink.
Can I ask you?
I like dreamers. This is good.
I want to ask him one question.
My confidence is nice.
IQ versus melanin. IQ versus melanin. Would you say you're alive if you was born without melanin?
Would I
Would you say someone is born that is born unmelanated? Do you need melanin to survive in this world?
No,
radiation, yeah.
Well, hold on. You need melanin
Yes.
to survive in this world.
Yes.
This guy was created by an outside source that caused him not to have melanin.
Not outside source, by black people.
Why did he not?
No, not by an outside
This is gonna be good. I can tell this is gonna be good. I can tell this is gonna be good.
No, I can't.
I can tell this is gonna be good.
What's on the table? I'm saying the conversation is between whether somebody's trying to say that by nature,
I know.
black people are dumb.
But nature
Right?
also.
No.
That's why I'm not
Brother,
getting my
listen what I'm
point.
saying. The way you dumb.
Yeah.
What my point is is if we check history,
Yes.
are there signs that black people were highly intelligent?
Yes. Ah, yeah.
Brother, I'm getting it. Highly civilized.
Yes.
And certain conditions occurred
Yes.
to show that, you know what, because of circumstances we've been put in, therefore we're not doing the best we can.
We're on the same side.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out if that's what he's saying or not.
So here, let me give you some odds. So if you look at this, why does it matter? If I look at my DNA coding and I code from my human cells, I end up with different behaviors. You say melanin skin color. Skin color is in the top 30 characteristics of the difference of race.
Okay.
The differences in race are not even visual.
Yeah.
They occur in your endocrinology, in your hormone system. You can't see racial differences.
Yeah.
If you were a doctor and I looked at me, you might be prone to sickle cell anemia, me to type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
So my genetics matters.
Yeah.
Intelligence gets people very upset because while they accept physical differences in anatomy, endocrinology, hormones, when it comes to intelligence, they somehow believe it must all collapse to one. So let me finish. I started by saying, if I ask if all Nigerian people have the same IQ and you accept they don't, the only trouble comes politically when I say, oh, if I look at these curves, and it's saying black man in the lower curve dumber than that. No, they're smarter black people than many, many white people. But the group average is what it is, and there's nothing to refute.
That's politics. Let me say why it matters.
Politics,
The reason why it matters is
How many black people are without education in Africa? How many black people
the reason why it matters. The reason why it matters.
The West.
Hold on.
The reason why it matters is because certain people use those things to say black people are 3/5 of a human being. Therefore, we can conquer them, enslave them, and teach their property and land.
Yeah, but we can
Other
fight
than
those
that,
idiots.
you can believe what the hell you want.
Alright.
Do you get my point?
Let's
So
see.
that's
Let's
why
say
it makes a
logically.
difference.
Let's say
Or-
logically then. Let's say
Was
logically.
Mansa Musa a tribal idiot?
Man, no, I don't know him.
Can I
personally.
say something?
What does your West say about
Can
him?
I say something?
What does your West say about him? The same way that
The West?
they talk about his data, yeah.
What does the West say about Mansa's? I mean, that's a different
Like, there's
topic.
other
African
people
history.
that
I
have-
mean.
that have
Yeah, I don't know what they
recorded.
talk with the gold and stuff. That's a different topic.
Okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying
Okay.
though.
He's
How
saying
many
he
black
built
people are without
civilization.
education?
If you create
And you're judging more
if African people, say for example African and English people, like the European, if the European system create a form of educational system,
Yes.
comparing to if Africa created a different, how then will we be educated in the European system comparing to what they already?
I can answer this.
Hold on.
IQ doesn't care. IQ
Comparing to what the European already knew.
IQ doesn't care.
Like for example, a Polish person coming to England wouldn't know that because they do a life in the UK
It's a good
first.
question, but let me answer this.
No,
way.
but I'm not finished yet.
Okay, go on.
But in an African society, the education system would be more natural to
be different to
nature,
European. Same
comparing to the book side to England. So the IQ that you're testing, ex descendant of slave, as a black man, comparing to someone from Nigeria that never been enslaved. So how then can you
I can
compare?
answer very quickly, very simply, here. Because IQ can be replicated, and it doesn't matter what culture, race, history. You cannot study.
By what method? By what method?
I can give you an IQ test right now. I can give you a mini one right now. Listen,
How?
and you
How?
can't prepare.
And then if
Let me give you an
hold
example.
on.
Can I give you an
Can I
example
give you an
right
example?
now? No,
If I give you an IQ test about yam, if I give you IQ
that's
test,
all IQ.
We heard you. Let's hear what you said.
Let
And
me
you
say-
come back again.
So let me give you a simple example, right? IQ is a test of the 14 cognitive bits that make up our intelligence. You cannot study for it, you cannot improve it, you can't do anything to change it.
So how then can you give me an IQ test?
What,
Yeah, but
all
that's-
you can do is
that's your
make
point of
smarter
view,
children. So let me give you an example. I can do one right now.
Yes.
I'm going to give you some digits. I'm going to give you the digits, and let's see if you can reverse them to me.
If
Three,
but
one,
what?
I'm going to give you some digits.
Why not someone else give me the digit? No, why not someone else?
Wait, did you see
So here's a simple.
Why not someone else give me the?
You can study a little bit of the variations less than 0.07.
So okay, can IQ does IQ have to do with the weather?
Don't run with this. It's very simple. Let's start right now. I'm going to say some numbers to you. Tell me them back in reverse or forward. Let's go forward first. 314. Say it back. 314. Yeah. Okay, so 31415. Go on.
And if I don't answer, does that make my IQ lower than yours?
No, it's interesting you don't want to answer.
Okay, wait.
Fatigue.
Whoa. Let me just say something here. Let me say
No, I wanna.
This is Ralph. Wait, guys, calm down. Wait, bro. Let me just say one thing. Let me just say one thing. This is a stressful, Ralph. This is a pretty stressful situation in front of the camera, and not everybody would.
No. What I wanna ask.
No, it's not. Some people deal with stress better. It's a test of stress and not of of IQ.
Bro, tells you in your face that you have the lowest IQ, and all of you give him airtime.
What are we doing?
What did Brother Jordan? What did Brother Jordan say?
I'll tell you why.
What did Brother Jordan say?
I'm a cameraman. It doesn't matter, I'm black.
I did it again today. I did the same result.
You refuted him. That's not
Well, I know,
right.
bro.
He's showing he's wrong.
Because I'm a black cameraman, should I approach
Well,
it
I
a certain
know.
way?
Well, I know. Bro, let's not change. Hold on, I'll let you speak.
You know what it is? I'm trying to change the topic because
I'll let you
it's easy
speak.
to
I know.
When you go to the IQ test, yes, the nature of the IQ test and it being culturally biased and all of that.
But you know how easy it is. You know how easy it is. Like your culture, and by nations, yeah, nations amongst nations, right? You know, like my nation is different.
Which nation is yours?
That's not important. There's many different nations amongst us on earth right now. Okay, your nation, his nation, and my nation is different. Within nations, there are sub nations, right? So, for example, within Africa, there's tribes, right? So every tribe, from every part of the earth, have been taught and grow up differently.
Yes, absolutely. We love difference and the right.
Differently. Some people eat flesh. Some people eat flesh. Some people do
we've
not
got the
eat
point,
flesh.
yeah. And the point is,
You talk.
Come on.
Because the thing is, every time I speak,
you said different
every
nations.
time I
We got
speak,
that. You said that.
every time I speak, it's like when he's speaking, you listen attentively.
No, they don't.
Exactly.
No, they don't.
Every
No, they
time-
don't.
no,
No, they don't. They've seen it
No,
on
I
camera.
understand.
I've
But
been
this
interrupted
guy,
many times. I didn't complain.
for a particular reason, every time I speak, this guy always tend to want to. Yeah, just him personally, like all the time.
Okay, I
And
see.
don't know why.
Don't say anything. Just for a while. Come
Yeah,
here.
but I don't understand why. Well, I'll let
Mainstream media is focused over here. Independent media on the side.
IQ argument has been debunked. It's garbage.
Yeah, done. It's done.
Already, blood. It's IQ garbage.
Rubbish.
You know what I mean? At the
But
end of
we've
the
got-
day,
we've got
at
more
the end of the
important
day,
stuff to
the
talk
person who's saying it is getting refuted all the time. So therefore, how can you even trust his opinion on that?
But you haven't refuted anything. You have a
That's fine,
habit
that's
of talking
No,
like
no,
you say.
My
That's
brother,
fine, that's fine,
we've
that's
got much more.
he
The
refused
thing
everything.
is, we've got much more important stuff to deal with within our community. Because these man, you got some waste man, bro. Waste man, like you guys,
Welcome to England.
The thing is,
Enjoy the wasteland and the waste men.
I'm one of the man that's not
Welcome to
happy.
England. Welcome to England.
I'm not happy. I can't live down slavery.
No need for
I
me to
can't
make
live
You're
it
on
down.
white man's
Like,
land.
the thing is, why I said that, bro, why I said that is, it's because even though we've been through what we've been through, we still show you love and we still respect you.
So?
But India also went through torture by the hands
But
of
them
the
torture
same
black
people.
people, bro.
No, I know that.
This is you talking to him like he's your brother.
No, he's not my brother.
He's your ally, bro.
He's not.
You're talking like he's your ally, bro.
Man, he's not my brother.
This man about Hindu caste system.
I know.
And a kill off black people. You mad?
I know.
Like your brother.
Okay, guys, listen.
Louder, bro.
Let me just say one thing.
You can't compare what white's done to him.
No, I'm not comparing.
Listen. You see the laws of Manu. You heard about the Hindu caste system?
yeah.
They said if a Sudra, a Dalit, walks in the shadow of a Brahmin, pour molten iron or lead in his ears.
Yeah.
That's how devious and wicked these damn devils are. Bro.
I know.
Not allowing
But
him.
that's what I want to
These
talk
devils.
about.
This is some Islamic rubbish, right?
Look
Islamic.
at you.
The laws of
It's
Manu.
you are the lowest of the
The
low.
laws of Manu.
You are the lowest of the low, man.
How can you be the
lowest
lowest of the low?
Okay, wait. That's it. I've had enough of you loud mouth.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. Your head is empty.
No, but that's
Your head is
personal,
empty.
that's
Okay,
personal.
now let me tell you why your head is empty.
You're a colonizer,
Well,
bro.
you can say.
You're a colonizer,
Well,
though.
you can say it's talk shit to people.
wasn't king.
You can't make an argument. Wait. How did it start? It started with you saying that the white guy
We're trying to
being
build it.
a Sunni is
we're trying to
convenient
build it.
because
No, it
Sunnis
didn't.
are against black
No, it
people.
didn't.
Yes,
No,
you
it
did.
didn't.
It's on camera.
No
The
black
guy already
pride.
left. The
This is
guy
how it
already
started.
left.
No, you
already
know why.
started.
You know
You are pathetic.
You know why you're acting like this. You know why you're acting.
And now I am going
Let's
to
have
okay.
our civilized conversation.
You see.
You know why you're acting
Brother,
like
wait.
this.
Let's have our civilized conversation.
with
amongst
you,
people.
impossible.
That's fine, but we don't need savages to tell us what's possible.
Exactly.
Look who's talking.
That's
So
fine.
let's have a civilized conversation, then he calls him a savage.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Mr. Civilized
As a
Balaclava.
civilized person, I recognize
killing
a savage.
for the past 150
Anyway,
years?
as I was
Who's done the most
saying,
killing?
as I
Who
was
has
saying,
conquered 2/3 of the Christian world
Who done the
in
most
a record
killing in the last
time?
150
Yeah,
years?
look in the mirror.
Tell
Look
me,
in the mirror.
tell me who done
Look
the
in the
most
mirror.
killing
You
in
guys
the
like
last
to see
150
villains
years.
in everyone
When you
else.
say you
You
guys,
see,
what do you
I let
mean,
you
bro?
speak. I let you speak. I let you speak. I let you speak. Who's the answer?
you can tell me I can speak or not. You don't let me speak. I speak when I want.
You're weak.
You're a punk.
You're
I
weak.
want to
Shut
hear
up,
what
you
you
clown.
have to say.
Weak.
As I'm
You
saying,
can't
bro.
tell. You
The
can't
problem
take
we've had,
an
shut
enemy's
up.
argument.
What we've had is,
Bro, when you hear a real man talk, just shut up, bro.
Right.
You're not a real man. I told you that already.
Not a
As I
real
was
man.
saying,
Who's
How
a
can
real
you be a
man?
real
Are
man?
you a real
Shut
man?
up, man.
Are you a real
got
man?
an inferiority
Are you a
complex.
real
He
man?
has an
Notice
inferiority
how
complex.
diversity
You have
is
the
a
mentality of a
strength.
slave.
Diversity is a strength.
You have the mentality of a
Diversity
slave.
is
Who
a
did that?
strength.
When
Who
did
did
we
that?
become a
Okay,
slave?
you
Hey,
guys,
hey,
the two of you
Look
are
at
so
the
weak that it
diversity.
You're getting
hurts. It
dangerous.
hurts me to be talking to you right
Then
now.
go away.
You are such
Then go
weak.
away. Then go away.
It's pathetic.
Then go away.
Bro,
You're not invited
let
here,
me
you're
tell
punk.
you something about
Shut
my
up, bro.
history. Let me
You're
tell you
in- I
something
don't
about
care
my
about your
history.
bloody
No, no,
history.
I know
I
you
don't
don't
care.
because you're
Your
stupid.
history is a cover-up.
You're stupid.
You're
You
a
don't
rat.
know the history
You're
of
gonna
your
tell me how
people.
you was in the
You don't know
sewer.
the history
You're
of my
a
people.
rat.
You don't know
I
any
don't
history,
care.
and you're an idiot too.
I'll
Get
go
that
on
balaclava away.
I'll go on YouTube
You
if I
know
want to know history.
how the Kievan
take
Rastas
man.
not exist.
We don't want to talk to
Take
you.
a breather,
You
man.
see,
This guy want to talk to me. What's
You're
wrong?
weak.
Take a
I don't want to
breather.
talk to
You're
him.
weak.
I'm talking to my brother.
Bro, I came here, I didn't
So
say a
what? Shut
word,
up,
I
man.
was looking,
I
listening to the
don't want to talk to
conversation.
you.
Immediately,
You're a
he
dirty
focused on me
cockroach.
and
You're
told
on
me,
the
oh,
left.
as
You're
if
on
this
the
guy
left.
became a Nazi. It's as if this guy became a neo-Nazi.
Brother, what's your name? What's your name? What's your
Right
name?
when I came here.
Prince.
You're a
Okay,
fucking
my
fool,
brother.
man. You're a fool.
Look, shut your mouth, you
You're an
twin
idiot.
bomber.
You're an
Right,
idiot.
as I was saying. One of the things that occurs a lot is a lot of black people point the finger at white people for what their conquests and so on. But then, anyway, as I was saying,
Grown-up man.
Empire.
Grown-up man.
Empire. Empire.
As I was saying, but then they side with people like him
Exactly.
Man.
that have been worse for longer. Do you get my point?
I know what
so
you're
I'm
saying.
saying the term like white supremacy, although this thing exists.
Supremacy, not supremacy.
So, excuse me, don't interrupt.
They took the bait.
No, listen to what I'm saying. We're using terms
Yeah.
which don't reflect
Yeah.
the reality of today.
All right.
When we directly, for instance in America, right? Most of the blacks who were enslaved by the white people, they were looking directly at them. Now there's more different types of people influx, them so-called Arabs and so on, and they're also treating the blacks bad. The Chinese, etc. So I'm saying, how are you just going to keep looking at white people when you've got all these other people? Do you see my point?
No, I don't.
No,
But you
no,
know what?
no,
You know
you
what?
have to talk to him like he's your brother.
No. You know why? Because they passed the button. You know what? You know when the button was passed.
No, they joined hands.
No.
They passed the button.
No.
They joined hands.
But the button was passed for the European slave trade, and then
From who?
from the Arabs. But then
The Sunnis. There
the
you go.
Sunnis, yeah,
That's right.
Still
The Sunnis.
Ishmael, still Ishmael.
No, they weren't Ishmael, they were mulattoes. But anyway, the Sunnis.
Anyway.
Yes.
So when the Europe went,
1,200
so
years
400 years ago, the white man, he decided, big
I'm a
up
Muslim.
yourself, big up yourself. Rastafari. 400 years ago, 400
Bro,
years.
stop gargling in my head, man.
Hold on, bro.
Stop gargling
Bro,
in my head.
when the white man decided that I'm greedy, when he said, you know what, we got the machinery, we haven't got no manpower, so the white man said, everyone come and take the piss out of these Israelites. So why not just go there now and have a turn? But they took the bait because it was already prophesied. It was already prophesied that we are going to go and be a stranger.
But somebody can debate the religious.
No. I'm not talking about religious. I'm saying it was
because when you say
prophesied.
prophesy, you're referring to the Bible, right?
All right.
Are you one
What
of the believers
I'm
too?
saying is,
that,
somebody might debate
Yeah.
the legitimacy of that
I fully
prophecy.
understand.
What is not debated is the facts of history
Yes.
as we can observe them.
Yes.
And
What?
all I'm saying is, black people need to stop pretending that these other monkeys are somehow
No.
allies.
But you see me,
get me?
I've got different beef. Because my beef is the Caribbean.
Right.
My beef is not what went on before. My beef is the 400. You know, I was born in the generation, I'm the 4th generation from slavery in the Caribbean. So I can only talk about
a long time ago.
that. I can only talk about that 400 years that the European did. Right?
No, you can't. Because, look, sorry to interrupt, brother. Now that we have access to much more information, in that time, for instance, in Libya right now, do you think the blacks that are being enslaved by the Sunnis care about white supremacy?
No. That's why I'm saying
You see my point?
where I stand at the 400 years mark from the Caribbean. Sorry. My brother. Right here, yeah.
I think it's going to become like a Muslim Hebrew
My brother,
Israelite thing.
my brother, this is important.
You're a racist.
This
and
is
so is
important.
he.
He needs to
This is
You're a
this
racist
is
and so is he.
This is important. This is important. Like other people that's been enslaved and stuff into them.
Yes.
They can deal with that part. My part is my grandfather was his grandfather was a slave. My grandfather came out of the chain, and then my father. He's a Rasta man. He started growing up, and then he went through that as well. So then I'm like the 4th generation from that. So my problem is not with the Arabs as it speaks right now, but with the colonization of us being on the plantation in the Caribbean. That's where
I get your point.
Yeah.
But here's the issue.
Yeah.
My suggestion is you always look at the now factor as well as the past.
Yeah.
Because imagine if you freed, let's say we're on the plantation.
Yes.
We mash up the slave master's house, we burn down the field, and we're now running.
Yeah. We're not
We now
running.
buck up into a Sunni slave master now.
Yeah. No, it's fucked.
Are you going to ignore them?
No.
You see my point? I'm saying right now,
Yeah.
people are leaving the Caribbean or before, joining ISIS to support ISIS.
I know.
Wait, let me finish.
Yeah.
To build a black slave market in Libya.
Yes.
Do you get the cycle?
Yeah.
So right here we're seeing a microcosm of the same thing. The Sunnis here will prop up the Sunni pagans here. The Sunni pagans will then come against black people here.
You took
Do
it
you
to the
understand?
next level.
Do you see what I'm saying
You
to
took
you?
it to the
This
next
is Uncle
level.
Omar, but Sunni.
But you're right. No, you're right.
But Shia.
You're
This is my
right.
point.
Yeah, you're right.
Confused.
But you know also.
So I'm saying to you, don't just focus on who they want you to focus on, like the old narrative. Deal with whoever's against you.
Defending him just
And I'm saying if we find in England, I can't talk
What did he
about white
take?
America,
What did he bring it about?
but I'm saying in England
took
we
slavery
found
to that next
white
level?
allies supporting us. From
Yeah.
my
What
growing up
happened?
here,
Yeah, you're right.
I've seen white British
What happened?
beat and kick the crap out of white racists. I've never seen a Sunni beat up another Sunni for being anti-black. I've seen them fight over difference in understanding,
Are you sure about
but
that?
never for being
Are you
anti-black.
sure about
Do
that?
you understand my point to you?
I do
sure
understand.
So
about
this is
that?
the thing where for
Are
me,
you sure about that?
I'm going to ally myself
Are you sure
with
about
British
that?
white people that fight with us against racism. They have been.
Definitely.
Do you understand?
Definitely.
But these lot want us to fight with them.
But why
so
can't
that
they- why
so
do
that they
they
can
hate
put a Sunni empire and enslave us again.
Why is it? What was black man do you in the past? Like any time in the past, Like what is the? Yes, sir.
They are not black or white. They are people. Remember that. They are people. Yeah. People. Do you know
So
what's
okay,
people?
let me ask you one
Yeah, you
question.
can ask
Can
me
a white man go
Yes,
to
yes,
Jamaica
yes.
and say he was born in Jamaica?
Yes, you can
No,
do that.
before the 400 years. Can a white man before 400 years ago?
You need to understand.
What do you mean there's no color?
One minute.
What do you say there's no color?
Brother,
Yeah.
brother, yeah, it's me. I'm black as well from Africa.
You're
yeah.
not black. You're the one that sold us anyway.
Whoa.
The brotherhood
Thank you very much.
collapses.
This
The
is why
brotherhood
I'm
collapses.
putting down mine for you to think.
Bro, you think I'm the same?
you very much.
I'm not the black. I'm not the black man.
Thank you for this
what-
amazing comedy.
saying he's gonna be cool.
Bro,
Thank
I'm
you
not
for
the
this
black man.
excellent comedy.
I'm not the black
This is
man.
amazing
Bro,
comedy.
you're
This is bloody clown dude.
bro.
Because Caribbean.
I'm glad I remained silent for a while.
I'm not the black man.
Yes.
I'm not that black man that thinks that all black men are the same.
Oh, me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm from Africa, and I'm proud to be from Africa.
I'm proud to be.
If you call yourself being sold
What do I
out,
call myself?
if you call yourself being sold out, that's your free choice, my friend.
this
free
is the king
choice,
from Africa.
because God created
This is
beautiful. Look at that, beautiful.
No,
Black and white
I
is
agree.
beautiful.
I-
Beautiful.
listen.
Doesn't mean he's
Bro,
a
this
bad
is an
guy.
idiot.
Black
This is-
people kill black people.
Bro.
White people kill people.
That's true.
Bro,
No. If that's
Brother,
hold on.
let's
If that's
wake up.
if his point, hold on. If his point.
We're not gonna move on. Stop the slavery, my brother. Come on, man.
No.
How are we gonna move on?
This is
bro?
my point. I kind of get what he's saying. At some point, after we try and rectify things,
yeah.
we're going to have to sort of like, in a sense, let go of the grudge of the past. Now, I'm not trying to trivialize it, but I'm saying this is where reparations come in.
yes.
Not compensation.
And not repatriation.
Oh, no. Reparations means to repair the damage.
I know.
That could be schools,
I
that
know.
could be education,
I know.
whatever it is.
I know, yeah.
That's the whole
I'm
point.
under.
But for him to come and tell us,
Yeah.
oh, just get over it and leave
Yeah.
it, that ain't happening.
Bro,
But
them in our olden days took 6 months came over this
But anyway,
and beat him.
There was
That
supposed
me I tell
to,
you.
there's a debate organized for today. Shall I say again? What did you say to him?
Yeah.
What did I miss? Sorry, what did he say? What did he say? Did he mash him?
If I did the olden days, 6 man bring that punk over there and beat him. 6 man.
I bet the man them go back a bit.
Yeah, let's go.
Right. Oh no. Brother Rap Raven.
Sometimes I don't understand if you're being serious or if you're trolling it. It might be a genius troll.
Yeah, all right.
You ready for this thing, yeah? You ready?
You want it now or do you want to do it? Oh, it's a different thing. I came with yours is separate. Oh, you want to do it with me?
No. I'm not gonna get involved. Only if he wants to talk to me, then I'll get involved.
I wanted to deal with him.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Okay, cool. I'm not saying it.
Yeah, okay. Right, so give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. 10 minutes. All of a sudden. Now stay tuned, because me and Brother Shakara have got an important debate lined up for today, so stay tuned. Specific, proper debate. Witness the absolute annihilation again of opponents of Sir the Black Select. Thank you very much. Here we go.
Like you.
Donkeys
like you.
We don't need donkeys like you speaking, thank you. No cockroaches, no rats, please.
Oh yes, you see, whites will really love you if you keep calling them
You're not white,
cockroaches
you're an
and
idiot.
donkeys.
I don't classify you as white or any human. You're a subhuman, you're an idiot.
Of course. Okay, let me tell you something
Don't
about
tell me
slavery.
nothing, I don't care. Just shut up, man.
Look at this.
This guy keep talking to me for.
Look at this.
Stop talking to me. I don't want you.
Look
Just
at
go
this
away.
guy and witness him.
Yes,
I let
please.
him speak.
Where's he going with the
for
camera?
half an hour.
You don't let anything.
I let him
Shut
speak
up,
for
man.
half an hour. Explain everything he wanted to say. Now he doesn't want to
separate
speak
stuff? Okay.
because he's afraid.
Right, okay.
Go ahead.
So-
I'll let you speak again as a civilized person,
really?
unlike you.
Thank you very much. Okay. You know what? There's a bottle, yeah? Where do you want me to put the bottle?
Just there.
So if I step here, right. All right, yeah? We good? All right. So I had some issues with... No. This, well, it's kind of the one with Raven on what I would perceive was my surprise at his behavior towards Black Batman. Okay? Excuse me, brothers. This is a very important debate we're having. If you can keep the noise down. Right. Okay.
I'll jump in.
But he can talk from there, innit? Huh?
I want to catch him on the camera, his face expression as
He went to face it. Man, shut your skin, man. This guy.
Hey, bro, don't mess with his safe space. Don't mess with his safe space.
Man. You don't need
very
commentary, bro. Go back in the sewer, man. Keep talking rubbish. Hark out that spit from your throat before you talk to me, bro.
That's how you talk to Yo, get into this thing.
Okay, so last week, from what I remember, our brother Rap Raven seemed to be undermining our brother Black Van Man's perspective. Can you please, Black Van Man? What's up?
The mic will just block your Raven's face.
The mic.
That's a horrible thing.
Do you want to hold this too? How can we do this? Man?
Pause.
Yeah, go on. Can you
Finish that sentence.
We're waiting.
No, but apparently his mic is in front of the camera, right? Your mic. Your fluffy mic.
If he holds it, yeah, go on.
You don't mind holding that with your next man.
Come on, bruv. Get the muscles up, man.
Get everyone in for me, though,
Let
man.
them
You
know
have to get
it's a white
everyone
man
in.
working for the man as well.
Yeah, blood.
Exploitation.
Go ahead for you guys.
I'm trying to keep silent. If you need me to talk, I'll talk.
You want to swap so that he's there, bro?
Yeah, that's cool.
No problem, my brother. Blessings.
I'm
So
just going to add commentary for the
I just want to say, from what I've heard from our brother, is that he said explicitly and clearly, he heard that there was a racist guy called Tommy Robinson, and he had a bag of followers marching up to places and speaking. So he said he's got 3 mixed race children. And he wanted to go and find out, is this guy nuts?
Ignore them, East at the top. Yeah,
You don't have this one, bro.
No, I thought he was interrupting the mic. You're right. Okay. So it come like the brother said clearly he wanted to go and investigate if this is true. Because if we have masses of white people marching and uniting in this neo-Nazi fashion, as he was told, then it's something he wants to find out for himself. My first point is, isn't that the best example for the youth, rather than hearsay, You actually go and verify facts. First point. Second point, if we have no people, at least black people, going and seeking and investigating the information about what's going on the other side, then aren't we doing a disservice to our children and to ourselves?
All right, so to answer you, yes. I have no issues with the brother doing his journalism, going to any place and reporting and asking for facts and evidence. The discussion we had last week wasn't based upon his activities of going places. It was more so, I was talking about black betterment and the necessity of black people confessing and picking black issues to focus on. And then that's when the brother jumped in. So that was my interaction between the 3 minutes ago.
Say that again. Black issues to focus on.
Yes. So I'm saying that.
So therefore, how is he not focusing on black issues?
So remember, I was the one speaking and the brother jumped in. So I don't really know his history. I don't really know it. But what I'm saying is, I say black people confessing that they want to be dedicated to helping black people is a good thing, and then trying to look for black people to help with black issues and institutions to resurrect is the goal of why I'm here. Right. And the brother said, why don't you include other people and so forth, right? Yeah. I said, low resources and we're too subservient and we need that certain level of dedication before we can be very inclusive of anything. That's what I said. But as for the activities he does, that's him as a free man. I can't judge him.
Well, I remember it wasn't quite like that.
Well, tell me how you think.
But that's fine. Even just what you said seemed to suggest that's not quite the case.
Go ahead.
So what issues would you say you had with him?
So me personally, he had issues with me, and I had issues with him because I was.
You said kumbayaism.
All right, so kumbaya. So what I'm saying is,
you as a person,
yes,
are telling us, we should be careful what words we use to cause anxiety and blah 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 blah. And how is kumbayaism not a big insult?
Okay, so there's 2 questions. Is someone practicing kumbayaism? All right. So what I'm saying is, if I'm in a space and I've recognized that black people are going through a certain challenge, and I'm trying to have a conversation on that issue, and people who are black who understand that issue is asking me to talk about other people and other issues, that is for me the borderline definition of kumbayaism. Now I said that kumbayaism is good, meaning that in a perfect world, everyone hugging and kissing each other is wonderful. Unfortunately, we're not in a perfect world. So it's too early, too soon.
So I make one little statement about what you said. You said, I remember, was it last week or the last time that we talked?
Yeah.
I said a mixed race child.
Yeah.
He would be welcome.
Of course.
One of his parents is white, one of his parents is black.
The black parents welcome.
The black parents welcome.
Yes.
What if it's a single mother of a child who's 14 or 15 and could be potentially involved in knife crime? Is she not allowed to interact with the other parents that might be black so we can try and sort this problem out?
So we're talking about things from more of like governments, right? The people who actually sit at the table setting rules and setting statements and stuff.
I disagree. I don't agree with how the government are doing things to tackle
governance.
Okay.
So the people who decide they're going to govern over a certain issue.
Yeah.
So that governance will be black because it's black, bam, and building. Black people work with black people, black issues. Is this white woman black?
No, see, you're confusing me.
I know, but I'm trying to.
You're saying he's free to do this thing.
Yeah, of course.
What is your view on that?
So my view is
should he be doing it there, or
my view is the brother has a YouTube channel. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I hope this brother's YouTube channel makes him a whole lot of money.
It's not. I don't want donations.
No, but I hope so.
No, I don't accept donations.
I check and say I hope.
No.
So my goal is I want better. Whatever he does in life.
Money is not my. Money is not my goal. I know I can talk for this one. Money's not my goal, so I don't want a lot of money.
Okay. What would you like?
I would like knife crime to stop. I would like us all to come together as a community. I would all like us to live in love and harmony. Kumbayaism, as you put it, I would like that to become a reality.
So I already said last week that the fact that this man has this kind of kindness around him, I appreciate. But unfortunately, how I'm moving things and how I'm trying to execute certain plans, currently there is no real place for this kind of behavior. So
this is my point. Whatever you said was basically what you've just confirmed.
Yeah.
Is that you see his actions, yes, he's free to do them, but I'm talking about your view on his actions.
My view on his actions
is it a betrayal? Is it something which is a cool type of behavior?
So one, I try to be codified, and I have to understand that if I'm a black person trying to help black people, and black people might be doing something against that, I have to say, what is the powerful force that's doing it?
Let me say.
If I
straight after you finish.
If I speak against, if I have to speak discouragingly or horrible towards another black brother, I have to think, okay, am I not victim blaming? Has the brothers or brothers and sisters not been conditioned to think like that's how I see it.
One thing, no, because this is me, innit? One thing I'm
I
going
should
to
have left you over there.
say, your aim is for black betterment in the black community, yeah? If you help one child in the black community, I commend you. Do you understand that? I'm not against you if you're for helping the black community. I'm here for helping the black community as well, but I'm for helping everybody. Do you understand? I'm for helping the poor. Do you understand that?
So
that's the difference.
Because I said that black people are collectively inferior to all other people groups.
That's your opinion. I don't feel inferior to anybody.
But you're the king on the board.
No, I'm not the king on the board. I'm a normal person. I'm a normal person. I'm a normal person. You can't try and say because I don't feel inferior to anybody, then I'm the king on the board. I don't feel like I'm the king on the board. I don't feel like I'm the king on the board.
Brother, what would I said collectively inferior? Collectively. You do not see yourself.
That's your opinion.
Are you part of the black collective, brother? Hold on.
Brother, part of the poor collective.
Okay, so that means the collective I'm talking about, you're not part of. I'm talking about the black collective. You're not part of.
I know, but it gets all confusing because we've got integration in this country. Wait, one second. We've got integration in this country. So when you say the black community, and we've got the 14-year-old child who's in an inner London school. That's the reality of it. He's mixed race. He's in inner London. His dad's not about. Yeah. He only got his white mother there. Yeah. Yeah, that could happen. You're doing something for black betterment in the better community. That mother's not welcome to come to your thing. That means that you might not be able to come just by default. And what you're stopping is the those parents having a conversation, getting to know each other. So these people's youth, 9 times out of 10, the people that are stabbing each other and the things that are going on in the community, the parents will know each other and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, is that person's mum or is that person's dad? Why don't we know this in the first place? It's about communication between all of us and not separation. Now you can do the
That's
thing.
your job. Go ahead.
I agree with points that you're making and points he's making.
I'm hardly going to say anything else.
Now,
Who said the
That's
white
it.
mum can't attend anything?
Jedi.
I've never said anything.
Who said the white
You
mum
did. You said she's not
said the
welcome.
white mum
I've
can't
got it on
attend
camera.
anything that
can't be under
affects
decision.
her son?
Okay, clarify it for me.
Yeah, what I
Clarify
heard
it.
him
You can
say.
clarify it. I'm not going to say that you said. All right, listen. If I misinterpreted it, I apologise and I would like you to clarify it for the camera. Because I'm not about breaking you down. Don't get it twisted.
Governance.
So I'm saying
Okay.
black people will be in charge of black issues.
Yeah.
So they're going to come together to work on solutions. One of the solutions might be in a community, there's a talk on how to minimize knife crime, innit? And that was set up by people who are in code, who are correlating with the same kind of behavior patterns, and they set that up. That's what that is. And I'm assuming there'll be more people come in. But what I'm saying is the actual body, the people who come together, the people who run this stuff, that is going to be black control. Because it's black issues.
You see where you talk about the working class. Do you agree that you've made a separation of the distinction between the middle and upper class to the working class?
Yeah.
And there's a reason why you've made that distinction. Because you see them suffering more, correct?
Of course.
He's now making a distinction within the working class and now saying within that lower class, whatever you want to call it, these lot need to be focused on.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So in principle, you're doing the same thing. My issue, what I'm trying to get with him, but you came in, is what is the issue with this brother here, and how is that not part of black betterment for him to go and video and investigate what this group of people he believes to be like neo-Nazis, what they're really saying?
Brother,
How is that?
Brother, did you hear me ever comment on that activity that he's talking about?
But that's what I asked you now.
I don't know you did this, but if you did, well done. Okay, cool.
Can't remember.
So my issue, see this one issue is an issue, right? What I'm saying is, I was talking to another brothers about black betterment, and the brother was on the side of his camera, and you added 10 pence piece, and I responded. I asked him to come in. The brother, so I'm not too sure of what he's doing, but power to him.
Trying to bring people together. Simple.
There you go.
All right, so basically, do you not agree that the same black people that we're talking about, when you raise them up, get them to a better situation, that while we're in England, we have to work with other white people?
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
So how is it that we're going to get them raised in this, let's say, tunnel thinking, and then do they not become a black separatist movement in a culture, for the youth at least, that is seeing this as we want to get rid of the idea of race? Whether it's a kumbayarism and it's fake, whether it's real, I'm saying a lot of the
My
youth...
job is to be is to always approach it from a tangible nature, and I have to also see the psychology of what's happening. So if we come here today and Asians sit around and the Asian people are talking about Asian bearmen, or Arabs do it, or Jewish people do it, you never see Arabs, Jews, or Asians go, what about that people? Well, how can you see them?
Never seen it.
Never seen it.
Ever
but
in
because
life. I
agree with that.
But because we're collectively inferior.
That's not true.
I don't say
not true.
I've never seen it.
That's not true.
Where have you seen
I wouldn't say that to my children. You know we're collectively inferior. I wouldn't say that to. Hell no.
And this, the way how we react to information is demonstrated.
It's not true.
Okay, but because we are collectively inferior, that's why people of different walks will always go, "What about allying with white people?" And it's like, okay, fair enough. Okay, if that's what you wish to talk about, but
what I'm saying practically, you say tangible, right? I'm saying to you that the system as it is organized where Indians can import their products, yes?
Right.
So they have massive warehouses with their food and their products, yes?
Right, yeah.
So Indians have massive businesses because of what the white government of this country has allowed and set up, yes?
okay, yeah.
Oh, is that, yes?
No,
Is that true?
No, I disagree with that.
Come on then, tell me something.
Disagree with that. Obviously, you have to relate to the institutions of the society, but why they are. What's up?
Sorry, go.
Yeah. Why they're at the foundation of the relationship that allows Indians to import their goods, their services into this country is the relationship that Indians have with Indians. If they weren't organized among themselves, they wouldn't even be in a position to talk. But that is the point. So that the fundamental, the essential dynamic is not the Indian relationship with the white man, it's the Indian relationship with himself.
No.
Right? That's the foundation of it. No. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not. You're saying that and I am saying, but before that takes place, the Indian is organized in a particular way. So that's the fundamental dynamic. So what he's talking about is the fact that we have not yet passed that first hurdle. But I know you know this.
Let me say one thing. How is this helping the youths in the community? How is this helping?
We're going straight from the
We're just talking about importation and exportation.
First of all,
it's a big
How does this help?
personally,
Finish what I'm saying.
Go on.
What my point is, even if we did organise ourselves, do you really think they would seek to allow us from the 80s, from the 70s and so on onwards?
No,
do you really think they would?
Possibly not. It's not about allowing, though. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Of
One of the reasons why there are so-called minorities in this country that do a thing. Well, guys, don't troublemaker that, you know. Stay at the conversation, you get me? All right, yeah. What's the
Come on.
Right? One of the reasons why you have communities in this country that operate a certain way is because they have a homeland, oftentimes, that is strong, that represents their interests. But here I'm saying, and a fundamentally clear identity. So we're not. So that's the difference between what Raven is talking about and what Black Vanman is talking about. Because in his dynamic, there is no black unity. There is no. One second. There's no black organization. There is only working class. And if we study our relationship with the working class in this country since the 1940s till now, we have no reason to have so much faith in these people. Our parents' generation, it was the white working class why they couldn't walk down the street and go into certain areas and these kinds of things. That's the reason why. So if we're going to talk about all this stuff about we need to go and build why is it our responsibility to build bridges with the white working class? Nonsense. What you know what I'm saying?
But you see why we are collectively inferior. That's what I'm trying to say. All this is the symptoms of being collectively inferior.
You see, when I said my thing, he chopped me off. The thing I wanted to put to you, you see, you wanted to bring all of this inclusion in, right? Do you agree the black community is mash up as a collective in every way, shape, or form? Here. Why do you?
It needs work.
No, it's mash up. Simple as that. So even the working class whites,
You got a point?
once they're helped, why would you think they would want to merge with mashed up blacks? Don't you agree? We need to intensify the work with ourselves, intensify and focus, and then we will be people that they can look at and say, yeah, I don't mind doing business with you.
I'm just on a thing like.
No, do you give me that point though? So listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Would you like to go and do business, right? So you've got money, someone else got money. You've earned your money. Let's say what you do your money focusing on business. Someone else, he splashes it on this. Sometimes he borrows. Sometimes he ain't got the money. Sometimes he robbing for the money. Sometimes he drug dealing. I'm saying, is that the best person to do business with?
Money's green.
Listen to what I said.
Yeah.
I'm saying you as a person, you've got an individual that you can do business with, and you can make a whole heap of money. But the type of person, the type of person and behaviour that he has, would you like to do business with him?
No. Do you work for Black Van Man, Rima?
No, I'm saying.
You're in denial now.
I'm saying his irresponsibility
You're
with
actually
money.
an employee.
If you invest
I'm gonna
with
get you a
him,
uniform. Say that.
if you invest, one sec, brothers. If you invest your money, if you're investing your money with his, listen to what I'm saying. Would you invest your money with somebody?
Dumb it down.
Yeah, dumb it down for real. No, I don't take that as an insult. Dumb it down.
Listen to what I'm saying. You have £1 million. You need £2 million for this thing. And next guy has £1 million. He said, come, let's do this business.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm saying to you, with his behaviour, he's likely to not only lose his money, but your money.
It's a risky investment.
Would you invest?
No, if it's risky.
Thank you. Right. So why would white people then, while the black communities all mash up, want to merge with us? Do you see what I'm saying? So this is where our brother here, highly focused. Do you get me? So, and the thing was, you didn't say, hold on, he didn't say, what you said, which I liked was, can he do his thing and you do yours?
Yeah, exactly.
And I've got no problem. To me, because I'm saying I can't go to the pub. You was in the pub the other day. I'm not going to sit down with the pub having a lager and so on. You get me? So I'm saying I can talk to you, but I'm not going to pub and sit down having a lager. Do you see what I'm saying? So to me, I don't see nothing wrong with both of your positions. I do have issues with some of the things you say. Do you get what I'm saying? But the general thing you're doing, bang on it. Do you get what I'm saying, brother? But as you said, he does his thing. But I don't know, the kumbaya, I mean, to me, isn't that a goal?
No, if we both got the same goals, you want to help the youths. And I want to help the youth.
It has to be everybody, bro.
Yeah, I say everybody.
Because the youth didn't grow out of the ground or fall from the sky.
If you want to help,
you get me, they're interconnected to everybody.
And I want to help people. The end objective is the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got my way of doing it, and you got your way of doing it. Whether I agree with you or I don't. If you help one person and it's positive, I'm on your side, bro.
That's good.
If I do it and I help somebody, you should be on my side as well.
Can I say?
I agree. I think
no one ain't fighting you for that, though. I do.
Can I say? They did. They said, why did he go to film? Why did he spend his energy going to video and talk to them rather than going to?
First of all, one sec. Can I say? First of all, I think Raven's correct. That wasn't his contention. But even when that is concerned, the people that brought that contention, they weren't just talking about going down to the EDL march. There were a number of other things that represented a pattern of behaviour that showed sympathy to the position.
Is that because of what?
Is that what you're saying? Like not telling
was he
them to suck
wound
their
up
mum
though?
when they got a bit.
I even talk about that, but that got resolved.
Shove your phone up your ass.
That got resolved.
I'm not going to tell the story about what happened after the
I hear you.
Listen,
I don't even know what it's about.
It's not my story. But what I will say is, I give permission to whoever was there to tell the story. It's not for me to be saying, but.
Obviously, for the camera, I think what people were saying is that obviously the week before or the week before that, you kind of told man to suck their mum. I know you apologise, but you showed the kind of venom towards the man. Hear me out.
I showed worse of venom.
Yeah, I hear you.
For the record, I apologise to Respect. No. For the record, no. One thing I'm going to say. Listen, let me just clarify. Let me clarify it there. For Respect, I made a mistake, and I apologised for it. For that idiot that done that thing, I confronted him about it, and I didn't. They apologised to me.
When you left the thing.
Yeah. And I'll let them tell the story about what happened instead of me telling the story.
Can I ask you one question? Your answers and response.
I answered it with more venom than the venom I showed Respect, for the record.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah?
Look, what I want to know, because I saw this on camera, Same energy. And what Shaka was
worse energy. I had worse energy. I had worse energy for the public. I had worse energy. No, clarify this, because this matters to them.
No, but I'm going on that. I'm going on that.
For the record, I addressed that situation in the pub with worse venom than what I addressed the situation with Respect, and I apologise to Respect because I was in the wrong.
Let me ask you a question.
Pardon?
Did you get punched? Did they punch you?
No, they hit the camera.
What did you do? Slap your hand?
They tried to take the camera twice. That's it.
Hold on, I want to ask you one question.
He tried to go like that with the camera twice. That's it.
One question, Robert. One question. One second. I want to ask you one question. Because if I hadn't met you before and talked, be quiet, man. When I saw you after we spoke, if I had saw you first on the camera, I would have seen you very differently. So what I want to ask is, was your responses and behaviour due to the kind of pressure that they came at you with? In other words, they're suspecting you of being a coon. I'm saying because when me and you talk, yeah, there was never that kind of thing.
It wasn't nothing to do with. He said.
No, how they came at you? Because I'm saying, look, it already come in, the cameras in, like, you know, you're already kind of arguing already. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I address the situation in the way that I would address the situation.
Nah, but I think you're mischaracterizing the thing, though. Right?
No, there's a reason, brother.
The guy,
he was going to say something, and I'm saying he was going to respond based upon what's on the camera. So I'm saying, is his response relating to things we haven't seen? So for instance, if somebody comes at me and says, how you doing, brother, can I discuss something? The way I respond will determine how they are to me. If they come and say, you can't for shit, la la la, then you're going to hear Issa come out.
Nah, but I don't know, bro.
Address the situation as it deserves to be addressed.
That's what I'm
Simple
saying.
and plain.
Helping the community.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
that's what I'm-
what I saw,
They're more concerned about whether.
What did you see, Shaq?
Be careful. Look, be careful. What do you see, Shaq? When the conversation we're not talking about. I noticed that you were saying if we can help one person.
I know you Sunnis, man.
But
you steal my property,
it's
man.
far more serious subject about helping one person. You can always help somebody and give them some food.
I'm talking about helping someone, diverting them away from knife crime or something, not giving someone food.
Even knife crime is not about
changing the way they
helping.
think.
Even knife crime is not about helping the person. Knife crime. No, knife crime is about dealing with the higher level, which is a group of people, a community. Yes. So you're just helping one person here. Well, no, you can't be doing that. You know,
It can be both. It can be both.
Yes,
It can be both.
But the serious issue, we're talking about governance here, right? And what is the way to collectively organise and do things and act in a way that
But there's
moves
nothing
the
he's
whole
saying that's
community?
wrong, though.
No, but
What's he
there's
saying
a
that's wrong?
something
That's what I'm
about
trying to
I'll
get.
tell you one thing that I heard.
individuals.
Yeah, because
Yeah, but if he's working with individuals, and this brother's trying to create, let's say, a bigger community thing where we have meetings, what's the problem? What did he say?
Shaq heard something. He heard something.
What did he say?
No way.
Tell me what he said.
Never have trouble makers, did it?
So, go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is that because I'm saying like when I view the whole thing, because what
the king of black people. No problem. Come on now.
I'm the king of real Africans. That's what
man.
I
You
think.
filming me one time.
What's it?
So
So when I see a group of like brothers and sisters doing a Black History Month special, right? You know what I'm saying? And they're reasoning and they're going through things and they're breaking down stuff and whatever. And then brother comes in and starts talking about victim mentality. Then,
No, that's not
right?
true.
No, that happened, bro. That
No,
happened.
no.
Right? Hold on. But I'm saying, but that's not them coming at him. He brought that
you
into
see
the
the beginning
conversation.
though. That's what this is my point.
No, bro.
Because it looked like an argument from the
get what I'm
get-go.
saying, but he wasn't there at the beginning of the conversation.
That's what I'm trying to work. That's what I'm
Hey,
asking.
I'm saying, but you're saying that people about people judging him. What I'm saying to you is, when a brother comes into the conversation and he brings that into
in
the
the first
conversation,
conversation, bro. That's what
What
I'm
you talking
saying
about,
to you.
bro?
This is what I'm saying. If people are talking already, and they've got to arguments already, then man says victim and the camera's got that bit.
Yeah.
I want to see what was said before.
no,
that led
but
up to that.
yes, that's bro. The conversation is going on for a good half an hour before man comes into the conversation, so he was not there.
Yes, but was there a conversation before that?
Not that I'm
The
aware
week
of.
before?
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
there's been ongoing
Because he
conversations.
said victim several
Bro,
times.
There's been ongoing conversations.
I
Yeah,
know.
and he's brought that to the thing. He has been challenged as well. Yeah, on
I
certain
haven't got a problem
things.
with you discuss. I've got no problem with you discussing transatlantic slavery.
I'm not even saying that right now.
happened.
I'm not even
I
saying
said
that
to
right
you, wait, the same thing.
You
I've
broke
said,
down victim.
I've said never forget. Exactly, I'm going to clarify for it. I've said never forget. We should talk about it and all that. But you see, when you're bringing it into saying this is the reason why things are going wrong now and that, I think certain times it comes across like bit of a victim.
Fine.
It comes across because
Hold on, wait, one second. But at the moment, bro, hear what I'm saying. At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but there's many other reasons.
Can I say,
other reasons.
bro, at the moment, I'm not debating, bro. At the moment, I'm not even debating man's position or whether he's wrong or right or whatever. I'm saying, I don't like this thing whereby people are making it look like people are just attacking man and going at him a certain way. No, wait, one sec. He's had enough to say about next man as well. So I'm saying that if people are telling him things, he's telling next people things. Everybody's giving as good as they get in the situation. I came on content the other day, right? I'm not saying that you are, you know. I'm not even debating the situation. Hold on. I came on content the other day, right? And man, them are talking about witch hunt and how people are collaborating in this witch hunt. One brother said it. Who was it that said it? I can't remember who said it.
I've never had a live stream ever.
Right? Like, what was it when you were talking? It was on content, yeah? I was in a conversation with man, and people are saying there's a witch hunt against my man. And I'm saying, well, I don't understand what that is. When I'm interrogating the thing with the brother, there's no evidence of no witch hunt, bro. And I'm saying that. I'm not saying that. You said it. I'm not saying no. You don't understand what I'm saying. You're not listening. You're not listening. Because at the moment, I am not debating whether black man's position is true, false, right, wrong. Yeah. What I'm saying is the idea that people are just judging him, yeah, is incorrect. There's a conversation going on, and he's saying certain things, and people are responding to things that he's saying. So if he's gonna say things about next people and their position, then you have to take some of it as well.
Simple question, yeah?
I don't get it.
Simple question.
I've got a problem with anybody saying anything about
Several things this brother said was, he's here to learn. He's new to this. Hold on. I'm saying I've been speaking in debate for years. You seem like you have, and a lot of the brothers here seem proficient in this. I'm saying when you look
apart from Maku though, he's not proficient.
I'm the best. No, I'm not proficient, I'm the best. You get me? Done now.
We're going to
go.
What I'm saying, brother, is that's why I said, have you seen the first conversation? Because most of the time I'm seeing just come out with stuff to try and like combat the person, rather than us who've got a backlog of information, and whatever someone says, we've got a sentence or something to quote. He don't seem to have that. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So, no, bro, it's part of the subject. How? Bruv, listen to what I'm saying. If there's a mentality, if a person represents a mentality, and we're using them as an example of a mentality, then obviously we're talking about a bigger subject than just the person.
No,
we're just using them.
But it's not. Anyway, I don't want to. We're getting personality focused right now. I'm saying that there's
what the conversation
no, hold on. But I'm saying
I said I wanted to ask him.
There's enough man in this dynamic here. For example, like what Raven is talking about. I've been coming. Like it's about my year anniversary up in this place, right? And I'm saying ever since I come here, you not got hurt. I like it. You get me? Watch it, I've got it. Watch it. You got darker. I swear. Melanated.
Sweating in it.
It's being around all these real Africans.
You and Jeddah.
The real Africans. The melanin rubbed off on man. Right? What's it called? But I'm saying what he's talking. Because look, what he's talking about. It's a double. I noticed from early. Whenever somebody comes and talks about focusing on black people, there's always a challenge to it. And man ain't around there complaining. Man ain't around there talking about. Hey, what I'm saying? One sec. Man ain't around there talking about. What's it called? Witch hunt and why are you judging me negatively for? The man doesn't have to do with it.
Bro, if you're not looking at context, so one thing I've said to you is what was the first conversation in which this brother who's not experienced in this team.
But how you know he's not experienced, bro? Why you giving him?
He said so. Why you giving him like experience? He said
no.
Are you serious?
I don't listen.
Are you serious?
Is there an overarching thing we can get to when we start talking about Black Van Man?
I'm good,
Like personally, him.
So there was supposed to be a debate between me and Shaka.
We're gonna do it right. We're gonna do it. I'm ready. So are you not done though? Are you not finished?
No. Anything you lot say, I'm getting involved. So just start now.
So my point was no.
He wants to debate me.
I was trying to. The subject matter is
for me and him. You mean?
Yeah.
What are you discussing? Explain it.
Debate.
Without a formal debate.
Is what?
A formal debate.
Yes, formal. Is Malcolm X the leader of modern day Sunni Kunism?
Oh, for
That's what he wants me to debate. So we're gonna do it, innit?
No, listen to what I'm saying.
I'm not an expert.
And for that reason, I will not be invested.
Thank you very much.
That's you lot's debate.
No, this is what I'm saying. My whole point is, I've asked you, have I not? When I first met you in the park, who did I first warn you about?
Either Sunnis or Somalis or something.
Right. But Sunnis was in there, right? Shut up.
Malcolm X a Sunni or a Shia?
Sunni.
Oh, Malcolm X was a Sunni. Okay.
But that's my point. So when you first came with your black betterment, who did I warn you about?
You have come to me and said that you once was a Sunni, and then
Who did I warn you about? The group and all of that.
you said that you did say that there might be a certain part.
You can say it blatant, bro.
Isa.
But it's not the Sunnis though, bro. It's not,
Was
it's
it
not a
Isa?
Sunni thing.
Was it the other Isa?
Even the cool Isa,
Yo, I'm gonna let them talk, man. They're talking a bit. Let them chat.
He complained about it on Ali Darwar's channel.
I'm back behind the camera, the people.
Ali Darwar complained about it.
he was saying last week before how checking me out obsessed with Sunnis because I went to tell you to let Sunnis in. Yes?
Kind of things,
Where's the real African there? The real African them there.
What's the African thing, bro?
You have to understand that.
I haven't seen all of that. We're going to talk about that though.
Yeah, I want to know about it.
I haven't seen it. I just heard.
Oh, it's from Betty, yeah?
I'm saying to you,
Him and Betty's been going to
that when you have, let's say, Sunni Isa, as you look call him,
Yeah.
and you have,
Salafi.
stop interrupting. You have shut up, you monkey. You have the black to let. I don't care, bro.
Ignore man Isa, like you don't have to.
No, but he's interrupting the mic.
Yeah.
Man said you have the
He's
car.
far, bro. You don't want to
Yeah, so what? Sahaba had the cup.
Heckle
So
him,
did the Prophet.
heckle him.
All right, true,
Get
true,
him.
true. That's true. So as I'm saying to you,
Yeah.
Who called who?
do you agree that I've warned, even Jedi, you can say the first conversation we had, I warned him about Sunnis.
Yeah.
Most of these brothers, the black people, true,
Facts.
warned him about Sunnis.
Yeah. What's
Now,
the point?
hear what I'm saying to you. Would you see
week.
someone as your brother?
Monthly.
I know it every week, bro.
Oh, we got one.
We heard.
We got one.
Yes, Isa. Yes, Isa. I hear you. Yes, Isa.
Forcefully.
No,
This is serious, right? This is serious. Listen what I'm saying, right?
Say, go on,
If
go
you're
on.
going somewhere, yeah? If you're going somewhere,
Yeah.
and there is a potential danger,
Yeah.
would you respect the brother
Yeah.
you're going with
Yeah.
who tells you before you get there,
Yeah.
care for their money?
Yeah.
Or wait until something happen
Yeah.
and say, you know, the man there, you know.
Yeah, no,
Them
but bro,
men there, you know.
but
You see them men there,
you're
you know.
reducing the dynamic here to just a Sunni thing. The dynamic that I'm talking about, Sunnis are included in it, but it's not exclusive to Sunnis. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
What you saying?
I'm
Label
talking
that
about
dynamic
the dynamic of let's help black people, but why black people though? What about everybody? What about this? What about the man with one foot and one eye? Yeah, right. That's a dynamic across the board.
Brother,
That's
the
what I'm saying.
subject,
Right?
to stick to the
Hey,
subject.
I am.
Finish.
What I'm saying is, I'm not going to put a dynamic that I see that's bigger than any one religion. Any,
So
you know what I'm
give me
saying?
the others. So you got the Sunni. We're talking about what we
There's
want.
all kinds of people that have done it.
Tell him
There's
again.
all kinds of
Tell him
people that have
again,
done
man.
Monkey again.
it.
We talk about the subject we want to talk
There's-
about.
and-
It's not
and-
Sunni and
and-
Shia, it's Sunni versus
And
black, you
sometimes,
savage. Yeah.
to be quite frank,
Yeah.
when-
Oh, this is,
there
Lannister.
are times when
Oh,
a
you're
person
filming
might
them
be
on.
Sunni, but I personally, I don't necessarily
Black
believe
man shouldn't have to
that
film himself.
even though they're Sunni,
Beg you.
Yeah,
the
man.
fact that
I
they're
beg you,
Sunni
violation,
is the primary
You
dynamic
shouldn't have to hold that,
in
bro.
the in the situation at the moment. So, for example, if I'm talking when I was talking to the white Algerians,
Yes.
their primary thing is not Sunniism. Their primary thing is a racial thing.
Rock you up today, bro.
No, but no, because if it was, bro, the black
You
Sunnis,
got- you got-
the black Sunnis
Yes.
in their lands, yeah, would not be oppressed. So it's not even like they're not on no Sunni thing, bro.
Brother, listen to. Did you hear what you just said?
Yes, I said it's not the principal dynamic. I'm not saying it's not a factor to be considered.
What's the program that is latched onto?
Yeah, but
and this is
all
why,
right. So
why we're debating the subject.
So when a brother from the Congo went in on me and Raven one time on the same subject, yeah, I can't remember. I don't even know if he was religious or not, but he was not a Muslim of any description. What was motivating him then? I'm asking you a question. The same dynamic takes place with a non-Muslim individual.
Yeah, it can be a Christian, it can be atheist.
So what's
It can be
motivating?
anything.
That's the point I'm trying to make. So I'm saying that if it comes from,
it's not Sunni specific.
it's not exclusive to Sunni thing.
Right, so let me. Boy, I can't even believe you didn't understand the topic. The reason I'm bringing up the subject is because there aren't.
I think I might move away and do a different little debate, you know. What do you lot reckon?
Groups accepting to Sunniism.
That's
You see
wrong
the
though,
issue?
because I would consider, all of this, this fraternizing and understanding with the Tommy Robinsons of this world, black people forming solidarity and alliances with anti-black people. These people are not, they're not even ashamed of their anti-blackness.
Listen to what
right?
you're saying.
I know
I'm
what I'm
saying
saying.
to you, they're not using a religious cover.
What's the point?
Of righteousness.
It doesn't have to be.
It's a political ideology.
It doesn't have to
that
be.
have a history
Bro.
of enslaving blacks for 1,200 years.
And so does the British Empire. And if
For
people,
1,200 years?
second.
Show me 1,200 years. Bam, wrong.
Bars is
Bars. Ain't no bars there. Where's that?
So
1,200 years, show me.
Alright, let's say the Brit, because obviously Britain.
We already know about Britain.
Britain is a.
Don't holler,
So
please.
before Britain, it was the Romans. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I'm saying there's a continuation of this same group of people. But technically speaking, technically,
Who's
but
trying
the
to be a
Romans,
Roman?
but the Romans were before
we are Romans.
the
We're in
Sunnis.
Rome.
Right? This nation is built because of the colonization of Rome, of Europe. So I'm saying the British Empire is simply the continuation of the Roman dominance of the world. Yeah? So I'm saying, no, it is actually before the Sunnis them. So
Demonstrate what more than 1,200 years of continuous anti-black slavery. You just don't talk it, prove it.
So first of all, the Romans colonized a whole bunch of North Africa for a long period of time. Yeah, they've continued to do that over the years.
Black slave, bro. I can demonstrate.
But they had
black slavery from Sunni all the way down.
So who do you think they were enslaving, bro? I don't understand. Who do you think they were enslaving?
Most people, but my point is.
So did the Arabs. The Arabs did
I'm talking about the Sunni Arabs.
But I'm saying that
You're
you're saying that the Romans didn't exclusively enslave black people, yeah?
Pardon?
You're saying that the Romans didn't exclusively enslave black people.
That's correct.
Yeah.
No, not just that. I'm saying where these people,
Yes.
when you talk about the Romans,
Yes.
I've asked you to demonstrate somehow
Yes.
for more than 1,200 years.
Yes.
This
The
particular thing.
colonization
So for
of
instance,
Carthage.
when you're talking,
in the year,
when you're talking about Britain, let's say,
yes.
they had their little wars in between here, whoever else was there, the Angles and whatever else. So in England, can you demonstrate black slavery continuously from that time?
In England.
In England.
But you're mixing up the situation, because oftentimes when this country enslaved, they didn't necessarily enslave in this country. There was minimal slavery in this country, but what they tended to do was go around the world and colonize areas and dominate people's land and enslave them on the land.
Okay.
So
demonstrate that then.
So colonization is slavery.
I
You
just
said Romans, English people.
But I'm saying, you're not hearing what I'm saying. The Britain as a nation is a part of the continuation of Roman domination of Europe, right? So I'm saying they're the same people. Yeah, so it's not. So
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's not, G.
I'd like to get your view. I might as well I wanted to come away from that discussion.
Come on.
Yes. To the one and only Maku.
Big up.
From that discussion because it was a bit religious and it was going a bit back in the days.
Man, we
It was a bit,
It's Easter, just how Easter goes on, man. You get
they
me?
were
It just
talking
goes on.
about
Yeah.
colonization and
Yeah.
slavery.
Right.
And you said it's the same thing. So do you
Yeah.
still feel like you're enslaved in England?
Yeah, most def.
Why? Like, tell me, like,
Most def.
don't you think you're doing a disservice to the people that were really whipped? You're not whipped. You haven't been whipped. You haven't been beaten. and you
No,
haven't
but
been,
they're
you
not
get
my
paid.
people.
When you
Even
do
my
your
people
job-
at home
When you
are
go for your job,
not whipped and thing, but they're colonized. So colonization doesn't necessarily mean whips, chains. You get what I'm saying? That type of thing. Yeah, exactly. So my whole
that's what
point.
I'm saying. It's different, isn't it?
No, it's not different. It's not different. It's not different. Because at the end of the day, the ports, before they transport the slaves, are still on the coast of where they're colonizing. Do you know what I'm saying? So you've got these slave ports or thing where you can find, shackles and all that, where they used to house the slaves. 6 months, they break them there. You know what I'm saying? And then they transport them. Because you can't be on the boat, once again, you can't be on the boat deciding what slave is rebellious and not rebellious. You would have known that.
There ain't white people breaking slaves in 2019.
No, they don't need to do that no more because colonization, they've already colonized you. You know what I'm saying? So now what they've done, they've given you a fake independence because independence is not freedom. Do you know what I'm saying? So what they've done, they've taken all your natural resources and they control it. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you are like a wally jumping up and down in the street so it can back, I'm free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that big pipeline running in your back garden doesn't belong to you. It belongs to Britain or Shell or whoever. You know what I'm saying?
You can buy a property. You can buy a property as an individual person,
Right.
Or buy a building if you could afford it.
What, in Africa?
No, in this country.
Oh,
Where
okay.
you live
I
right
understand.
now.
I understand.
Just exactly the same as a white man.
Yeah, but you can't do like you can do in Africa where you can buy the land. You understand?
Do it in Africa then?
No, man do it. It's not that man's not doing it. I'm just saying that it would become on everyone else to do such things if they feel so. Do you know what I'm saying? If they don't feel so, they don't have to. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like if you was in Africa, you'd be better off than you are now?
To a certain extent, yeah. I do, yeah.
So if you really believe that, why don't you just go and move there then?
I've been there, I visit there, and I'm trying to make that transition. It's going to take time, you know what I'm saying? Because, as I said, the creature comforts, also the creature comforts of England, you know what I'm saying, is what's trapped everybody and thinking like, oh, it's better here than over there. What are you going over there for?
All right, so listen, so that if you say the creature comforts of England, might have you trapped and thinking, oh, England's better than over in whatever country it is that you want to think, then wouldn't you say that this is quite a nice country to be living in then?
No, I wouldn't say it's nice, like a nice country. One, you ain't got sun 24/7. I think where I got sun 24/7 is definitely a better place. You know what I'm saying?
No, but if I believed it was a better place, I'd live there.
I'm saying if I got sun 24/7, if England had sun 24/7, I probably wouldn't have no complaints.
And when we talk about better, we got to kind of like weigh it up about like, I think mainly when we say about Africa being better or the Caribbean being better, I think we mean about like quality of life, innit? Do you know what I mean? Because it's not as materialistic. The pace of life is a bit slower. You get to appreciate family, friends, and do you know what I mean? And you have less, but you feel like you have more. This is a fact that we see in the third world. So that's kind of.
So it's a trade-off.
It is a trade-off. It is a trade-off.
Living in England, you would see as a trade-off you've got certain comforts that you have in Africa that you wouldn't be able to afford those. You don't have those same comforts back in England, but England's got certain trappings, as you would put them, that keep you here.
No, that you're used to.
That you're used to.
Yeah. Not that you don't have those trappings there. This is the point.
I know, but if you
you have those trappings there. Do you know what I'm saying? The difference is here you can go there with your ideas and say like, you know what, I only like certain things. Do you know what I'm saying? And have those things there. So that's why it's a little bit better. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I can say, oh, you know what, I'm going to do the Nubian Sniper show in Nigeria and I'm going to put it on their cable system. Do you know what I'm saying? So now I can kick back and everybody can enjoy my show. Do you know what I'm saying, for example?
Right, you could do it on the cable show in Nigeria. But in England, they've already got they've got a system built up.
Yeah, they've got a system built up.
You could probably do your own stream, and if it got popular enough, you could go on mainstream TV as well with it. You seen what's that Big Nasty show? You know the Big Nasty show?
Yeah, but without
he started doing
the white boy.
He's the white boy.
I hear you, and I rate Big Nasty. You know it's from the ends and
that.
Yeah,
but
I rate
white
him.
boy,
But at the same time, though, I'll be real with you. I rate Big Nasty. Just say no diss for Big Nasty. But it's like we always gonna get on the TV if we're running fast or we're telling jokes or acting a fucking fool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Acting like some complete little bender or something.
You can be the first, but you could be if you captivate enough imaginations.
And who's the white boy who brought him through? I forgot his name. You have to have a friend.
There's loads of black people in this country that are very successful in politics.
Right. But you got to sell out. You got to sell out. You got to sell out your culture. You got to sell out your ethics, and you got to assimilate.
Okay. Do you believe that I have sold out my culture
but I don't
and
believe,
assimilated?
Yeah, in a way, I think that. Not selling out your culture, but I think you're showing an openness and you're showing an ability to lean to a certain direction where people be like, alright, he's palatable. I'm not palatable to man. We say the same things. Me and you say the same shit.
Could it be perceived as bridging a gap?
Yeah, I mean, look, I can see that you. I can see you've got your. I can see you got your place to be in it. Yeah. So I don't knock what you're saying. I don't like people saying to you, oh no, you can't work with white people or you can't work with Japanese or whatever. I hear you're cool about in the hood. I was screaming that from the beginning. In the hood, we got everybody there. Yeah. But at the same time, it doesn't hurt to be target specific. If you want to, do you know what I mean? That's it. Yeah.
The only problem I've got is when the child is mixed race or where that white person might be the only person that is the parent or guardian of that mixed race child, and the child's welcome and the white parent isn't welcome. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's right.
We never had.
Maybe I misinterpreted something.
Yeah, never. This is the problem.
One
This
thing I wanted to ask you, you
Go
said it's something twice.
Go on.
So maybe I might have misinterpreted this as well, yeah?
Right.
Twice I've seen you on camera say the mix might have not been, they might not be the right mix. Yeah? Once to me and once to somebody else. I think it might have been to Real.
Not might have been.
I can't. Oh, it was to Real. Yeah.
You
so,
know, I got bars. Come on.
Why? Like, don't you think that could be conceived as a bit of racist when you, if you think that somebody's acting scatty or acting in a certain way, why would you attribute that to race?
Experience.
Why would you?
Why?
Sorry, bro. Sorry. It's
Yeah.
experience.
For
It's
the
experience.
record, Jim,
From life
you're
experience,
making
of
yourself
course.
look bad.
No. I can explain myself.
Yeah.
You asked him. No, this ain't racist.
Yeah. It is racist in the fact of, if you think that somebody's acting out of character or you think they're acting through your lens, that person's acting scatty, yeah? And because you know that person has a mixed heritage, why would you attribute that scattiness to his mixed heritage?
Okay.
That's what I perceive that as racist.
Well, he didn't. This is the good point.
I was gonna
he
say-
didn't. He didn't
I
perceive it
was
as
gonna
racist.
say, yes. So
he,
I did. I
he
perceived
overstood.
it. That's why I said I perceived
yeah,
it.
but he overstood.
Explain it to me.
He
Clarify it.
overstood.
Mixed race, a
One
lot of
second.
mixed race people, that are cheek by jowl with white and black people. They see trends in behaviour. They look for stereotypes in themselves. Now, this is just a stereotype.
Sorry.
Mixed race, growing up, the mixed race people I grew up with, they will say to me, well, do you know what? Growing up mixed race, it did leave me kind of confused. You know what? I can see in our mixed race people the issues that being from a white and black or mixed heritage family has, and it's evident in the way we deal with things, our social skills, the way we interact, even mental health. I've seen it, and I know mixed race people that have seen it for themselves, in themselves and in people in their category. So it ain't a racist thing. I'm not saying, you're mixed race, but
we're having a discussion
Yeah.
in Speaker's Corner. For you to jump to that and say, it must be a wrong mix.
well-
Was it just, would you?
Let me give you an example, though. No, let me give you an example.
Was it a serious statement or was it half in jest?
But think
half
about
troll?
it. Think about it.
I don't know.
No, it's not trolling. No, no trolling. No trolling. If a man travels 300 miles from his yard, and comes in a blown up horse. Once again, in a blown up horse and a rest a week, right?
Because he's mixed race, though.
No, but he's definitely scatty, and he admitted it. You get what I'm saying? He was like, you could consider this as a bit scatty. You get what I'm saying? Like, take it off, man. What's up yourself?
What I'm saying is for you to say it in the interview.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Would it come across for you as being rude, or could you have said it a bit different?
No.
That's what it
No,
means.
that's not what I mean. What I'm saying is, when you said he's scatty, and he agreed with you and said that was a bit scatty, but you said the mix might not be right. You attributed it whether it was in jest or whether it was thingy.
Right.
You stand firm on it. I can see in your face. You stand
that's
firm
right,
on it,
that's
right?
right, that's right.
The mix might have not been right as well.
Correct.
Like,
But
I
is
see
that an
as
incorrect?
racist.
You can
It's
see
racist.
that. It's an observation again. Remember
How
my
my
thing about
perception?
observation.
You tell us. Perception.
You know my thing about observation.
My perception.
Yeah, my perception too.
Let me hear why it's racist in your eyes.
Go on.
Because the flaw which is scattiness, the flaw which is scattiness, you are attributing that flaw to
There's two parties though.
you're
Right.
attributing that flaw.
And I never chose a side.
Listen,
I never chose a side. I didn't say one was better than the other. Go on.
No, you're attributing that flaw to the mix. So not that you're attributing to the mix.
Right.
I assumed
That's science.
I assumed that you was saying the mix because of the white
that's right,
in
but
that
you-
person.
yeah,
was
but
that
you can't
what
say
you
that
meant
though.
or not?
No, that's
you
not
didn't
what I
mean.
meant.
So
No.
you should clarify it. Then clarify it.
Not really.
He said the mix is wrong.
All right, the mix is wrong.
Not a right mix. How complicated is this?
What was
You
the-
gonna say?
what was the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
mix?
The mix.
Right,
That's
the
why I
mix.
said
The mix isn't right.
Right.
What's wrong with the
Might.
mix?
And remember I said might not be right.
Both parents.
You know what I'm
I know,
saying?
alright.
Might not be right.
Alright, but
So
what
I don't
are
know.
you
It could be
talking
right,
about?
but from experience,
Alright, you see the mix?
right,
Alright,
and
the
from
mix you're talking
seeing
about
man
is
physically
race,
in a blown up horse.
The mix that you're talking
Right.
about is race.
Yeah,
The
a mix of races, though.
Yeah,
One
no.
race being
What
one that
you're
he's a
talking
part
We
of.
don't know what it is.
Yeah,
So-
we're not saying which one
Yeah.
is the fucked up bit.
Yeah, yeah,
We're not
yeah.
saying which one is the messed
yeah,
up
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
But the
We're
two-
saying,
We're saying the
we're
combination
just saying
might
the
not be
mix.
right. Yeah,
This
that's
is
right.
not we.
Right.
You are saying
Yeah.
the mix might
Like
not
how
be the
some
right
people
mix.
get sick of
So
stuff.
you attribute. You are attributing.
because it wasn't the right mix.
You are
Hey.
attributing.
Come on.
You know what you're doing? You're attributing the floor, which is scattiness in this case,
But you can't see his chat.
to the race.
Which race?
Not the way I don't.
But you
It doesn't matter what race, just the mix of the race, the mix.
Yeah, but black man.
What is a mix?
Which mix are you talking about?
You're saying that he meant it to the white
Yeah, I don't mean
I'm just
that.
saying the mix now. Look, you lot
Yeah,
clarified.
the
So I'm
mix is
saying-
fine.
No, but I'm just saying. Listen, you listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I understand,
Yeah.
that you're saying it doesn't necessarily mean the white mix or it doesn't necessarily mean the black mix. I understand that.
Right.
But what I'm clarifying
Yeah.
that what you are saying, he's scatty, but you're saying the mix might not be right. And when you say the mix, you are referring to race. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which bit is scatty or not. I'm just saying that you're referring to race.
Cool.
But it's not
That's
racist,
it.
though.
Yes.
But it's not racist. It doesn't make sense.
Racist for me is when you I think you believe you're superior.
But how?
You believe you're superior.
Oh,
That's
one of
different.
those mixes is superior. Remember, if I thought like that, then you could say that. But
believe
I'm
that
not,
one of those
I didn't
mixes-
say that.
I'm not
What I'm
saying
saying
that you
is,
did.
But you wanna
whatever
know what he
mix.
believes.
You get me?
I want to know what you believe.
Because
What do
at
you
the end of the
believe?
day,
Nuwabi and
well, so I'm
Sniper.
saying,
What do you believe?
I'm
Do you
saying-
believe that you are superior to every other race? Do you see yourself as a black man?
I see myself as a black man. Yes.
Do you see yourself as superior
Genetically?
To who? And
to
what does that
any
mean?
to any? No, just say no then, innit?
No, I don't.
No, you see
Yeah.
yourself as equal to every other man.
Well, I should be, but maybe they don't see me. The same
Okay,
way.
okay. All I'm doing is clarifying
I
and
hear
getting
you, I
yours.
hear you,
I'm
I
not
hear
trying to attack you, bro.
No, you
yeah?
can't.
I don't think every man's equal.
You don't think every man's equal?
Equality is a myth
Do you
to
feel
me.
that you're superior or another
some
man's
aspects.
superior?
In
You
some
believe-
aspects, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What aspects do you feel that you're superior?
I feel like culturally, my cultural background, my cultural history is superior because it's older and it's vaster and it was big enough and shiny enough for other people to want to shit on and try and sweep under the carpet. So I know that, like, you know, like man's drawing for you because they know you're the guy, innit? Like, so that's how I feel. Other people's inferiority complexes have taught me through experience that I'm actually a superior being, even in their eyes.
I can agree with that statement.
Yeah,
It's a fear factor.
but I mean, on a day-to-day level, we eat, we shit, we sleep. We're all normal. Do you know what I mean? You have my daughter, I have your daughter. You do whatever, innit? But there's certain things that a black man has got superiority over. You know, athleticism. You know, like, you know, I would even argue creativity. I would even argue that they have a edge in these things.
I really want to pick your brain there, yeah?
Go on,
Alright,
go
so
on.
you said, yeah, black people you believe could be superior
In some aspects.
In aspects of like athletics. If you look at who won
Yeah.
the athletics, it's no secret who won athletics for the last 10 years, 100 meter sprint. Probably a black man in it for the last however 10, 20 years. So you see those superiorities in black people. What's the superiority in white people?
The ability to organize, the ability to centralize, the ability to pinpoint enemies and go out and attack them and invade them as a unit, the ability to be to switch off their conscience. Yeah, they're superior in that. The inability to empathize, is a superior quality because to be a sociopath means that you're gonna be at the head, at the top of society. Yeah, you have to disregard the things that we are. I believe how can I say? I believe I've inherited through my heritage. Susceptibility to being kind to people and letting people in and understanding them and wanting to know how they feel and welcoming them. Come in and we're all one and the same. I believe that's my inbuilt thing.
Don't you believe there's a lot of white people or a lot of people that are not black that are exactly like that as well?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. There is a lot. There is a lot. There is a
Yeah,
lot.
but you know what it is?
But there's another crowd that are loud enough and boasty enough to let me know, hey, we're over here. So even though I've got my white folks and my friends, I've got my white people, man, my family. Come on. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
So
if
that's
you go
cool.
back, if you go back 10 years, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, would you say that it's improved for black people or minorities in this country?
Improved.
Yeah, would you say it's improved?
We're gonna have to go.
I would say
Wait. That's just very general. It's very general. though,
Very
man.
general, but
I just want to know.
From my parents' time?
What?
My parents had a very different
Housing?
upbringing. My
There was
my
bare
parents
jobs.
had
My
Where my
parents-
parents
jobs,
were going. So it's
education.
different.
What do you think?
Got worse.
What?
Got
Healthcare.
worse.
What's improved?
Just pick one though. How we're integrated into society.
I think it's gotten better.
That never
for me.
changed.
No, I need you
That
to
never
break.
changed.
I need you to. Yeah, I need you to break down what you mean.
Skip off that subject. Let's go on to something
I don't
else.
know.
Where would you rather? Where would you rather live in Europe than here?
Europe.
In Europe, yeah, Europe. Because Africa. If I say Africa, you'd be like, oh yeah, you know, my
Okay, I get
brothers.
you, I get you,
da-da-da-da-da.
okay.
So I'm trying to pick up.
Where
like
in Europe
a
would you live?
A European.
Well, it has to be somewhere in the Mediterranean for me. As I said, the sun is the major factor for me.
I know.
I'm not trying to live in Europe like that. Like,
Have you
outside
been,
of London.
Have you travelled to Europe?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have you travelled all around
Not
Europe?
all around. Not
But
all
enough.
around. I'm a
Enough
worldly
places to
person,
see.
See
no.
your
Do
reception,
you know what I mean?
the reception that you got in those countries, was it a better reception than living your life in?
No,
It was
no.
worse.
I mean, I've been to places like, for instance, you might go somewhere like, if you go to a
Imagine
tourist
France.
attraction, if you go to a tourist place,
Proper
where
racist
it's
in
where it's
France.
multicultural and there's all different types of people coming in, you might pick up a vibe like, Raj, you know, it's cool, welcome, da 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 da. Everyone's because they want your money and that. But when you go into the north, and when you go into like the rural areas in Europe, they don't want. It's worse than certain places in
England,
London,
yeah.
but not certain places in England because we got to remember England or Britain is a big place, yeah.
I know, I think
And
there's
where,
any
Come on,
bad
I'm
place in
M25.
Lon-
Go on,
Where's a bad
M25 is
place
what happens to
for
you.
a minority in
What's
London?
the M25?
boy, I don't know. I spoke to a guy
Where
called
is
Stephen
a bad-
Lawrence, and he said he weren't feeling
No,
Eltham.
that was
Is Eltham a better place?
Rest in
Is
peace.
Eltham a better place for a black
Say
man?
something first. Rest in peace.
Middle of the
Stephen
night.
Lawrence.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Is
Stephen
Eltham a
Lawrence,
better
yeah?
place for a black man?
Than what it was 20 years
Yeah.
ago or something like that.
Yeah.
I've never been to Eltham.
Oh,
but
yeah?
I would have imagined so.
Charlton, none
Do
of
you
them
know
areas
something?
now.
I'm going to go to Eltham
Jeez.
and I'm going to go to Charlton. I'm going to talk to the people of Eltham and I'm going to talk to the people of Charlton and get them perspective.
I tell you what you do.
Because I've already
I tell you
got-
what. Go in
I've
there
got
relaxed at
personality.
night. Hold on one second. Go in there relaxed at night in the evening. No. Forget the
tell
bus
me
stop.
what to do. Tell me what to
I'm
do.
gonna say, just go on a pub tour.
Yeah. No, I should. Yeah.
Go on an evening pub tour.
you
Yeah.
know that
Where
people
people
are
are relaxed.
You know when people
Not drunk. Not drunk.
late at night, you know that
just
people
oil-
get tanked.
But what happens when people are tanked?
You know.
Do you believe?
You know.
No, but I'm saying, and you know people act up and that.
Come on.
No, one second. You know people act up. I'm not saying that. This is what I'm saying. Do you believe that the booze can oil up the honesty out of a
Truth
man a
comes
bit?
out when a lot of truth comes out when a person drinks a lot. Hence
but
why I
you
went
say-
to the pub.
This is what I'm saying. Go back to the pub, and then you ain't gonna be able to deny what's going on.
What do you mean?
Like
I am gonna go back to the
I
pub.
feel like if we go in the daytime, everyone,
I'm
oh
gonna
hi
go
guys,
back there.
and
No
there.
sense going back there in the daytime. I don't want to be there in
Yeah,
the daytime.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to be there when
In their
Friday
natural
night.
environment.
What are you talking about?
So we're saying the
camera.
same thing. That's
Cool.
what I'm saying.
That's
We're saying the same
I
thing.
believe that.
But what I'm about is meeting people and bridging the gap. Do you understand?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's about talking to people that might believe the mainstream media narrative of what black people are.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
here to combat that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm here to talk to the people
Can I ask a question,
that
though?
are. Wait, one sec. I'm here to talk to the people that are racist and don't talk to people, black people.
What are you trying to get out of the racist though? You're talking to them.
I'm trying
what
to
do you
change them. I'm trying to change their ideology of black people and not be racist.
It's going to take a
luck
lot
with
more
that.
than that, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try though.
luck
I'm gonna
with that,
try.
boy.
You know, if you don't try, let me say
What if
something to
they?
you.
What
Put
are
your
they
life
gonna
at
say
risk.
to you though?
What if they say fuck
But you're
you?
alright.
What do you
You're
mean?
different, black fan
So,
man.
alright.
I fucking know you.
Right.
He's
Hey.
black fan man. He's alright.
That's what I explained.
He's alright. You're alright.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
What the bro?
Right, let me
Mix
explain
on.
that. Let me explain. I thought about that before I even started doing this. Do you understand that? When I go over to them, they're like, "You're alright, black van man. Black van man, you're cool. You know you're alright, but the rest of them, they're fuckers."
That's right.
Let me tell you something. My next line is that there are a million times black people, yeah. He knows me, yeah. There's a million black people, yeah, that are a million times better than me, and much more clean-hearted than me, much more.
So you convinced the racists?
No,
of
no,
that?
no. They'll see. No. People will see. People will see. Do you understand that?
Right.
I'm here to prove a
Have
point.
you-
And
hold
you
on,
know
let me ask
something?
you,
I'm gonna
have you
ask
had to
something.
deal with a lot of racism?
Shall I tell you something? I don't believe I've dealt with a lot of racism because the energy that I put out is if you're racist to me, I might do something about it. Like the last person, forgive me for this, the last person that was racist, I was walking down the road with my missus, yeah, in my town, and there was a guy in a convertible car, yeah, alright. Walking down the road with my missus, I heard, oh, banana boat, yeah. Carried on walk, I was like, oh God, I heard banana boat again. I said, rah. You know what? They stopped at like traffic lights, so weren't traffic lights, zebra crossing. Stopped at the zebra crossing, yeah? So I went over there and I slapped him in his head so hard it was unbelievable. Do you understand? Sorry, mate, sorry. See the energy that I put out, yeah? It's one that I don't really wait, let me finish, because this is a big point about racism. I don't come across racism that much because the energy that I put out, you look me in my eye, I put out an energy that says I better not test this one.
So
do you understand?
Have you stopped them being racist?
Have I stopped anyone being racist?
No. By putting that energy out, are you stopping somebody being a racist?
No, they're subduing it.
You're driving it underground.
No. That doesn't stop their racism.
That's what I'm saying.
But in my going about my business, I don't think that I have personally received racism because I confront it where it is.
Okay, so the reason why I asked that is because you're dedicated.
I want to talk to people.
You're dedicating yourself.
I want to talk
to chat to racists, innit? You said I'm going to chat to racists, but I want to know why do you want to chat to racists if you don't face racism and it's not a massive issue in your reality? You got a white missus, you got this and that. So why do you want to chat to
children? I want to bridge it for my children.
But you don't face Are they being affected by racism?
No, but they could be in the future because I feel like things are getting worse.
So you think people are getting more racist?
Yeah. I think that things are getting worse.
I'm very confused now.
I think that people are getting worse. I believe. Right, listen. Right now, listen to what I tell you. Between black, everybody's getting more racist. Everybody.
He just said.
Everybody.
Everyone's getting more racist.
Who's experienced it for? Who made you get worried though?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Listen. I tell you what made me get worried. I tell you what made me get worried. I saw a Tommy Robinson demonstration, and I saw him get loads of support. So I was worried for my children. I said, if this man's meant to be racist, if this man's meant to be racist, and he's got that much followers, I'm gonna be worried about it.
Are you of the opinion that he is or not?
Let me finish, because this is how I got into it. This is the beginning, isn't it?
Mystery, isn't it?
This is the beginning, isn't it? So there was Tommy Robinson support. Tommy Robinson supporters were growing. I saw Tommy Robinson do a talk or whatever, and hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube, a big following. So I'm saying, right, if the nation are feeling like this, I need to be concerned for my children that are growing up, because mainstream media are portraying this man to be racist. So then I've done a cover of Is Tommy Robinson Racist or Not, sitting in my bedroom, and the Tommy Robinson supporters said, if you really want to go and find out what's going on, you need to go and have a look for yourself. So that's exactly what I done.
Okay, but what about where you? But I'm saying you want to approach racists and challenge their stereotypes of black people and show them a different example. But I'm saying, where are you finding these racists? Where are you looking? Like, there's two questions. Where are you finding?
Shall I tell you? I'm going to the places where they don't really talk to London. London's a done job. It's fully integrated. I want to go to the places where they don't speak to black people often.
But that happens in London, though. That's happening in London.
London's mix up. London's
mix up.
Because you see an Indian man and a black man. Because you see an Indian man and a black man walking past an Irish man and an English man, you say that's integration.
That's not integration.
That's not integration.
It's much more deeper than that. We got much more. Listen, I grew up on an estate. I grew up on an estate.
A racist when
I grew up on an estate where
I'm a bit confused.
My next door neighbours were white. My next door neighbour there was black. I had a Filipino behind me.
Do you know where I went
multiracial. We were all poor together.
Do you know where I went to test it?
They don't sound like South though.
Go to a club, the door, get to the door, and you'll see what happens.
So simple.
You know what you're going to do? Go and build your own club.
But that's not going to be challenging the racists. That's not challenging the racists.
I'm not a complainer.
Yeah, but you still want to challenge the racists for your kids.
No. I do want to challenge the racists for my kids. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to challenge the racists for my kids.
Your kid go to a party and they want to enjoy themselves simply. Go to the door, and that bouncer, discrimination.
Is it ignorant bouncer?
Right.